is my sound?
Where's
Is
the
it
mirror?
okay?
You sound okay.
Can you still hear me breathing?
No.
Well, no, but like I think that's just how Vive mics are. I know a lot of friends just put a piece of tape over it.
Yeah, that's what I did. Just put a piece of tape over it.
Oh, you just did that?
Try that now.
Oh, cool. I'll let you know.
Thank you.
There we go.
Double check the thing to see if it's working.
I can kind of still hear reading, but it's okay.
I don't know if the stream audio is working.
Maybe another piece. Another piece of tape.
Yes.
It says it's working.
Yours, Evanor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I also put like a you know, like a, it's not fucking moving. The, you know, like what you wash the dishes with, you know, the cloth.
About this one, the video,
tape that
the
on,
music.
like pop filter.
Yeah.
Is there a local turn off?
Is there a local turn off? Oh, I haven't added a button for it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to add a button to turn off the screen for local.
I'd say the brand, but you wouldn't know
Yes,
the brand.
I know that. I know with the screen-based or music, anything that if it can keep continuing in the background, it will like get laggy for me eventually. That's why I'm
compounds.
asking.
Yeah, I want to try to get away from using the video sync,
It
but
layers on top of each other.
It's been forever.
that is a big floppy hat. Yeah, we're ready. Okay, so Dyabie.
You should add bones to it.
Just kidding. It's not back yet.
So we covered your backstory in private. So on the way, on Spoly's little adventure, you end up coming across Spoly because of reasons, and you are now part of Spoly's party, and you're heading to the city of Bartusk, the heart of the Heartlands. It's this big kind. You heard me in Discord, right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
The valley.
And in the valley, and I will eventually have a world map once I make it. But for now, we're gonna go Theater of the Mind. So
Theater of the Mind.
yeah. So it's this. Bartusk is this massive city that kind of serves as the crossroads to the different nations and regions of the world, where you've got the mountains to the north, the wildlands to the west, where kind of there's it's kind of home to roaming monsters and stuff, and it's actually the place where Spoly came from. You just happen to come across Spoly, whose character's name is Chusk, as they were entering in. And again, kind of, well, you know why, but it's kind of weird to find a lizard folk that isn't feral. Like, to see one that's completely well behaved is a little strange. Which, I mean, like, you might have an inkling as to why, but no, everyone else seems to be afraid of Chusk, at least on initial face value. But that's yeah. So yes.
I don't have any weapons yet. Just have my
So yes. So you guys are Chusk, Jimmy, and Dyabie. You guys are now approaching approaching the I'm gonna change the music. You guys are now approaching the major walled city of Bartusk. It's kind of on a hill. Around its walls are little farms kind of patterned out in this kind of grid-like shape that kind of radiate out from the city. 4 major roads enter it. You guys are coming in from the west. As you guys kind of pass through during the daytime, the gates are open. Guards don't really stop you from when you enter, but you do get kind of examined and watched as you go through. It seems pretty normal for adventurers just to show up, come and go as they please. There are, you know, people of a variety of, you know, walks of life, and you know, you've got people in armor, you've got normal townspeople, you've got merchants. They're just all sorts of people. And you guys are making your way to the guild house, which you guys know is the hub of all adventure for basically the world. And it's kind of it's midday now, so you guys are kind of arriving late. You guys know that guild houses tend to fill up in the morning once they open, and that's where all the adventurers go to get their quests. So you guys are plowing, pushing through the crowd, and you guys make it to the guild house. It's kind of this dark brown wooden structure. It looks like it was once an inn, but was purchased by the Adventurers Guild. And as you go in, you push open the doors. They just open up. There's no locking mechanism or anything. And you see rows of tables. You see a counter on the left side with a lady standing behind it. As you enter through the doors, on the right side on the wall is a big kind of ornate board where there are a bunch of like holes dotted in where pins are being shoved through. There's a couple of papers on there with platinum pins pushed through them, which since you all are copper level adventurers, you guys have registered before just in a different town. You know that the platinum pins are for platinum level adventurers. So as you kind of examine, you see like mind flayer sighting, or like a dragon nearby or whatever, things that you definitely know would not bode well for you guys. You see kind of on the left there are a couple tables. There seems to be a few people here, mostly empty though. You spot some adventurers in this kind of like giant clad of this massive block of armor, and they've got a silver bracelet or a medallion thing around their neck. You spot a woman who is dressed in kind of a red garb with 2 short sword. Another smaller humanoid, also red skin, has horns protruding. You know that it's a tiefling. Just kind of sitting off at the table. As you guys enter, what do you guys do?
Well, wait, are they just chilling there?
Yeah, they just seem to be sitting there.
For quests, right?
Yeah. So you open up the door, and the lady greets you. She says, "Welcome to the guild house. How can I help you?"
Oh man. Shit.
She seems to be pretty patient with you guys as you guys kind of like talk amongst each other to figure out what you want to do. What'd you ask?
Can I try to speak with her?
What the hell?
you want to speak? Did you say speak with her or sleep with her?
Sleep with her. Is she hot?
You could she seems fairly attractive. She's got blonde hair, kind of tied up into a bun behind her head. She's wearing.
That's my character.
She's got a uniform on. It's this kind of like maid like uniform.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm into that.
She's smiling. It's kind of infectious.
Alright. Dude, totally down. What do I do?
You can do that. You said that on the guild board there's mostly platinum level.
So there's a couple of there's one copper pin. There's mostly platinum pins, which go figure. There, maybe not a lot of high level adventures here. But yeah, there's only one copper pin, and you kind of see at the bottom of the page. You read through the page, and it's an investigation of a nearby canyon. A wagon has gone missing, and they want adventurers to go figure out. There is a payout, of course. It's a gold piece, so you'd have to break that up amongst your party. Which I mean, for a copper level quest, that's a pretty good payout.
Oh, okay.
As you kind of at the bottom there's writing that says waiting party, and that's kind of what they do for like when somebody's already accepted it, but it's not recommended that they take it on alone.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, while you're
so somebody's already out there doing okay.
Well, somebody's
examining the quest board.
Yeah.
This boy over here
Yeah.
trying to get
So
some
yeah,
things.
while Dyabie's like looking at the quest board and reading the quest details, you're over here like you kind of like put an elbow up on the counter, you kind of lean in.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
She kind of her expression doesn't change. She seems very friendly, and she's just like, how can I help you? Do you have any questions? I can see you're a copper level adventurer. There's only one copper quest right now, but I would recommend doing it. There's already 2 people waiting.
Oh, okay. Can I ask her for more info on it, or is all the info already on the board?
It's
like everything you already told us.
It's all on the board. Like you can ask her. You can be like, you ask her about it, right?
Can I make small talk?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can small talk right now.
Do it.
So she's already asked. She's kind of operating in a. She's kind of already operating on like a professional capacity. So whatever you.
Small talk.
Wait. Okay. So. I actually had to come up with the words. I was hoping that like my character would just come up with it.
No, you do it, man.
In the middle of this, I try to walk forward to that lady, and I say, "Excuse me,
How tall?
my friend, have you maybe seen any lizard folks nearby recently?"
How tall is your character?
Hmm?
How tall is your character?
Yeah,
A little bit.
like 8 feet.
Yeah, are you monstrously huge?
A bit.
Like 5'5"?
No, a bit taller than average, I would say.
How tall is Jimmy?
Taller than average.
Yeah.
I mean, you're changeling. You can change that, but
Yeah.
5'2".
It's like 6'2" or something.
okay. So as you go up and you try to talk to her, the height difference is like immediate. You have Jimmy like who's like towering over the counter, and you're like barely. You're kind of the counter like comes up to your chest. Oh, what did you want?
I just like push my way forward. I like
Okay.
You gotta give.
going with them. Was like,
Alright.
yeah, have you maybe seen any lizard folks nearby recently?
Any what?
Lizard folk nearby.
Lizard folk. Well, first of all, when she initially sees you, as you kind of push up into the thing, at first she kind of like confuses the top of your head as like an actual like part of an outfit, because it's not uncommon to find an adventurer who wears hide as armor. So at first she kind of confuses you as like this kind of like barbarian, but as soon as you get up there and it becomes apparent that you're a lizard folk, she's taken aback a little, because it's strange to see lizard folk in clothes, and she no, I haven't seen any lizard folk. You're the first one, actually. or she kind of looks.
Violent cock block.
yeah, she like you were like trying to get her attention, which like at a little bit you were, but then that stopped immediately as soon as Chusk came up, and Chusk is now like the focal of her attention.
Oh no. So she has a negative reaction to him, right?
She is a little afraid, yes.
Oh.
It's really apparent. For you, it's really normal.
In that case, I'm gonna be like, all right, thanks for your time, and we just walk away. Like, I guess that's, you know, I guess. Do you have anything to like hide your appearance?
So you're done reading the quest board.
I'm gonna get freaked out by you.
All right.
That's gonna be bad.
I mean, I can check.
No, this is like.
What the-
I'm back. She's gonna see the pain.
Oh shoot. Didn't realize. Alright, I just like hide Chusk from people so I don't get judged.
You just kind of like walk around like.
Yeah. Wait, is everyone actually like scared?
They're definitely they're keeping their space.
On guard.
Oh man. I see how it is.
Meanwhile,
All right. Well, I'm done reading this quest here. That says that there's already a couple of people on it. They don't seem very prepared. So before they go off and fucking kill themselves like a bunch of fucking idiots, why don't we try to go catch up with them and try to snag that gold piece?
yeah, you two can see this commotion happening. I take it you guys aren't exactly you guys aren't exactly being subtle about this.
Wait, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm just saying, I meant like to them. Like,
yeah, no, it's fine. You say that to them. You don't know that they're there yet.
That's in character for him.
Like this is what you're singing. Yeah, you're saying it to these two. These two are present, but you don't know that they're the ones that took the quest. So you gotta just say this out loud. Like, oh, these, we better go save them. We better go save them before these idiots get killed.
I am looking forward to the first time you said this.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah, you see this lady kind of she's dressed in red. You saw her earlier. She just gets up from her table and she walks like she like beelines it straight to you.
Shit.
Get that intimidation.
Wait, what's going on? I already said what I said. I said, how can I help you?
So what does this character look like?
Kind of like that. That's a placeholder. It's kind of like that.
So your final image is, okay, so yeah, kind of looks like a long coat with a cap. Do you have what's your weapon?
It's a dagger.
Okay, so you don't.
It's a placeholder. Mine isn't done yet. This is just a placeholder, but this is just what it kind of looks like for now.
So you see what you see is this kind of you see this half elf. You can tell with the like half pointed ears. Long robe, spellbook at his side, backpack, looks like a dagger maybe. This is what you see.
And they have the necklaces already.
Yeah, copper level. Unless you choose, do you keep it out? Your adventure tag thing. You get like a little medallion, kind of like in Overlord or in Goblin Slayer, that identify what class you are. For you, it's copper.
Sure, I'll keep it out.
For her, she doesn't wear it around her neck. She wears it around her arm.
Alright. I'll keep mine like on my hat.
Looks good. Does it
were
look cool?
idiots when we're the ones who waited at the request of the what are they called?
They're just the Adventurers Guild. That's what they're called. That's what everyone knows them as.
So are you gonna sign up or not?
I'll sign up. I assumed this party had already left.
No, it said on the thing they didn't. They were waiting.
Well, it just says
I thought they were like.
it just says waiting.
Oh.
It just says waiting on the thing. It's up to you how you interpret it. Like they could have been waiting on site or not. It might be that's kind of like.
I gotcha.
Yeah, cause like I thought it was like, oh, they have accepted the quest and have gone on it, but they won't actually like do the
start.
quest until they get more people. That's how.
No,
I
it's
interpreted it.
fine.
The
That's
moment he says yes, I just rip off the quest off the thing and hand it to the lady. We're a full party. Let's go.
all right. She
Get this fucking thing down.
she takes the paper and she stamps it, accepted, and she says upon completion, which is finding out the origin of why this wagon disappeared, maybe bring back something from the wagon if it's still there, so to indicate your completion of the quest. And she says upon completion, just return back here and you'll be paid the amount. 1 gold.
Wait, do we introduce ourselves? Do we like, oh, hey.
Dyabie already introduced himself by being a dick.
I know.
My character's a fucking dick.
Yeah, your character.
Stop! I'm not mean.
Just for reference, is it 1 gold a piece or is it 1 gold?
No, it's 1 gold total, which is
Split.
like
Oh, man.
it's for copper level adventures. It's suitable payment. It's
Among this many people?
It was 20 silver each.
Wait, what do you mean? Oh,
no a gold is 10 silver in this world.
Oh, sorry.
So everything is in denominations of 10.
Yeah.
Poofy, hello.
Hello.
We're playing
I'm
D&D.
lagging.
You're
It
being
takes a while to get everything straightened out.
recorded.
But
So, did, like, after it's split up, is that like a good amount of money, or is that like
How many of you
we're
there's?
working for like?
well, there's me, Maellon, Spoly.
Yeah, there's 5 of you. So that's two that's 2 silver apiece, which for a quest to go investigate something is it's suitable, especially for copper level. Like
Okay.
you when you look at the board, you look at like the platinum level, and the platinum level is like 500 gold pieces,
Oh, shit.
10 platinum and stuff like that. But again, the task is a lot different.
Just
Well,
check
no,
something out.
I was just wondering, like, does 2 silver give me like a cheeseburger, or like, how much is 2 silver?
like
Yeah.
to get a meal,
I don't know if
like
it's a lot.
like to get a meal at like a tavern, to just get like a regular meal is like
Mm-hmm.
is like 2 or 3 copper. So 10
Okay.
10
So you,
10
you
copper is
set
the
for a
silver.
few days.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
That's a decent
and an inn stay like at a good inn might cost you silver. To stay at like in the stable or like a low quality room might cost you like 5 copper.
Okay. That's fine.
All right, so who is? Do you have any other party members that are coming with us, or is it just you that was waiting?
I'm just sort of following along,
It's up
taking advantage.
it's up to you guys to decide if you have introduced each other by name, or if you're just literally like, I saw this quest, I want to join you, and stuff like
I
that.
mean, yeah, I just want to get shit done.
So okay, so you don't know each other by name.
This world?
Huh?
Save the
I
pleasantries, let's
read
just
the
get it done.
paper, so I know what their name is, and I know the other 3 people's names once they've signed it. I just don't know who's who.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Not that
Okay.
not that I really care.
Yeah.
Oh man. This person. What the heck?
All right, so yeah, I guess at the
Dyabie already pissed her off.
At this point, yeah, you all kind of you know each other's names because you had to sign the paper, except for maybe Chusk, who can't see it. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. if anything, I think Evanor might be smaller than you because you're playing like a really small tiefling, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like how you guys have the smaller avatars too right now.
What, like, language? We all speak the same language?
Yes, you. So you all know Common, which is the common language.
Yeah.
Most people in the civilized world knows Common. You guys can also speak in the other languages that you have. You just have to specify that you're speaking in it.
Racial languages.
Yeah. So like, if like it turns out that you two know Aquan or Elvish or whatever, and you decide you want to talk between each other without the party, you gotta make sure like I say this in Elvish or something like that.
So like, is it specified in our races what we know, or our classes, or just us individually?
You guys should have picked languages at the start.
Yeah, maybe.
Jimmy, you picked no languages. We'll cover that later then.
What?
Languages are common in Infernal?
Oh, did I misspell it? Infernal. It's supposed to be Infernal. I'll fix that.
Infernal.
I can type good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Infernal is like a fiendish language. Other fiends speak it, so it's kind of hard on your throat. It's kind of the sound of like crumbling rock and brimstone. I guess that kind of describes it.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
So do we need to prepare?
So
by me, I'm sort of sitting down, are we already prepared, and these three are going to sort themselves out?
Yeah, you guys are already prepared. You guys had plenty of time to prepare. Not that there was much preparation you could do. Like, you have your stuff with you. You have your little bag with your supplies, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So yeah, your mandolin.
Are we adventuring now?
You can decide to. You all are kind of standing in the center of the guild house, which fortunately enough there's not a lot of traffic, so you're not stopping anybody. But you guys can decide. You guys can make a plan. If you guys want to head straight there, just keep in mind it's midday right now.
Yeah.
The details of the quest ask you to go north. Since unless you guys want to pay for horses, because you all have a little bit of money on you right now. You guys should have like anywhere from 10 to 15 gold pieces. So you could purchase a ride there, or you could walk there. You would imagine that walking there might take you a couple hours. So if you walk there, it might be more towards the evening. Or you guys could wait an entire day if you want. But
wait, is it morning right now?
It's midday.
Come here early for the quests. Oh,
Yeah,
midday.
you guys showed up. You guys showed up late, which is why all the quests were gone, except for this one.
Oh. Okay, that's what you're saying.
Unless you guys want to fight a dragon.
Is this?
No.
Is there any settlements or anything between here and there?
There's a settlement on the other side of the canyon. It's a small town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just chill for a day. We don't want to be searching for shit in the evening. You know?
Yeah, well, that's what I figured. Yeah, like if we're gonna get there at night, if we're looking around, it's gonna make it hard to spot things. So I prefer to
By the way,
leave earlier in the day.
Is it too late to like apologize for Dyabie and then like?
No, I mean, anything you want to do, like roleplay wise, you can do like right now. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, all right. I'm like, yo, excuse my friend. He's a bit of an asshole. Like, and then I was like, hey, I'm Jimmy. Nice to meet you. And then I'm like, this is Chusk. And you know, and then I say like, yeah, we've been traveling from whatever town we came from. What was the other town?
You guys just came from west. It's not from a specific town. The only person who came from a specific town is Evanor. Chusk came from the west. You didn't pass through gate though.
He just isn't coming from the west.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like,
you just happened to be in these like small little town and villages as Chusk was passing through.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then.
And then
yeah,
I came in with
we're
Chusk.
looking for some good quests, just like you. So don't worry about us. Ignore Dyabie, you know. And yeah, and then I get to know you guys, and it's like we should hang out for a day and start the quest tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll be searching for the lost what was it? The thing that
Lost caravan.
It's a wagon. The wagon that went missing.
Yeah. We don't want to be searching for that.
Few hours on foot. How long would it take on horseback? Did you say?
It might take you. It'll be a little faster. Unless you guys are driving the horses like super hard, it actually isn't that much faster than walking. The benefit is those that you're not walking.
Yeah.
You save your energy.
Whatever.
You also have horses. If you took horses, you also have horses to bring the wagon back if you find it.
Will there be horses in?
I was going to suggest that, but that's fine. Whatever.
Okay. Well, if it's not gonna be much faster, then let's skip it.
Will there horses like a luxury only in big cities like this one or big towns, or is it like a?
You're so angry.
Or will there be some in the settlement that we were going to be traveling to?
You don't know if there'll be some in the settlement. I mean, it's often that towns like often have stables, but it varies from town to town, as horses can be expensive to own. Because you would basically you'd buy the horse to ride right there and back.
Okay. I'd say, because me and Chusk just got back from traveling. We'd rather spend the night and get a couple horses in the morning. That way we can knock this out midday, come back before it gets dark tomorrow.
Good plan.
The notice, when did it say the wagon went missing?
A couple days ago.
I mean, they're probably all dead by now. I'm not going to be bringing much back.
Yeah. We're going for material things, so, or like just figuring out the mystery. I don't think time's of the essence.
I just think, if they've got the wagon, it's probably already been picked all apart by now.
Reira clearly disagrees with what you're saying, but she says nothing.
Oh.
She's got this stance. You kind of pick up on it since I think you're all actually really charismatic. I think you all pick Bard, Warlock, except for you. I don't think you have very high charisma. So, and I mean that makes sense because you're like these idiots. So the rest of you kind of notice that she takes this kind of like defiant stance, but chooses to be silent.
All right. Oh, whatever. Let's go find an inn or something. Or what's there to do in town? There's some cool bars, or like hangout places. What do people do in this world?
Never a clue.
I don't know, it's my first time here. Why don't we look around town and check to see what the prices for each inn is?
Oh, no, you're not.
Yeah. Are you? Say something.
Hello?
Oh,
Oh, there he is.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Were you talking that whole time?
Yeah, I was. I was just saying there's like the normal city stuff. Because you all have been to cities before except for Chusk. Chusk is the one that's kind of clueless here. And I mean, there's a lot of, like, in a big city like this, there's a lot of, like, artisan craft going on. There are a lot of, taverns, breweries that produce their own thing, their own ales and stouts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Bar Tusk really isn't known for anything. It's not kind of a place people go to for like something Bar Tusk offers. The only thing is it happens to be in an ideal location.
Alright. Cool. Can I make some gold performing on the street a little bit, I guess?
Yeah, you can do some performing on the street, see if people pay you. You can,
I I just whip up my guitar, play a little tune on the side of the street.
So are you guys deciding to just
Sing out.
you guys just deciding to split up and then meet back at the inn at the end? Or are you guys? Do you guys have your own inn? Like,
I mean, she seems
there,
kinda mean.
there's
Kinda mean, so.
there are different there are several different inns in this city too. So you guys don't have to stay at your own inn. So if you guys choose to go to a different inn, if you're like, I don't want to be at the same inn as her, like.
we just agreed to meet up tomorrow morning. Like first thing tomorrow morning at sunrise.
Okay.
We meet up to
How much gold did you say we have each?
It's on your character sheet. You should have like 10 to 15.
How well acquainted am I with the area? Like, have I seen any barns or anything?
That was the first time you've been.
Yeah, this is the first time you've
I
been
have
in
no
the city.
idea, I mean.
This is the first time you've been in the city, so it's really foreign to you. Like, you've been through villages and towns which are like kind of open. They've got like one big road that runs through it. The buildings are kind of far apart. Some people have like their own barns or whatever, and it's really like each thing is its own isolated identity, as opposed to this city where everything is really close together and things just make like these long stretch of structures. You see these people just kind of like push and go and come from out of nowhere. There's these faces you're not familiar with. It's just really strange. You're hit with like this kind of like cascade of sounds that is really, in your opinion, kind of noisy. Just the people talking, the pots and pans clanging, the sound of anvils, all these different sounds that you would hear in a city. They're hitting you, and it's just a cacophony of everything. So it's a little bit overwhelming for you. But I mean, you can do your best to kind of go through, explore the town. That could be like your thing if you want.
GP, gold pieces, 15.
I explore the town.
Okay.
And try to find some quiet place that I can rest later on.
All right. So so I guess we'll do kind of like an end of day thing. So you explore the town. You kind of walk around. As the hours pass by, more people enter the streets, and then suddenly people start leaving the streets, especially when the sun starts going down. What do you want to do besides pickpocket people?
I mean, I'll introduce myself to Dyabie. He seems like he comes from an interesting place.
So I guess one thing to notice, one thing that you do note, because Dyabie is a wizard, is that he's got a spell book.
Yeah.
And you do know that spell books sometimes can get a lot of money fencing a spell book if it's got the right spells in it.
Yeah, well that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So I'll friendly introduce myself.
All right, so.
I mean, yeah, like. Yes,
what's your
yes.
character's name?
Evanor.
Evanor playing Evanor beat Dyabie playing Dyabie.
Yeah. So I'll suck up to him. Because Spoly's kind of intimidating. So.
Yeah.
And Maellon looks like a bit of a jackass.
Yeah. All right. So.
Dyabie looks like someone who could be important.
So. All right. So you spend your day kind of following Dyabie around. So I guess that means Dyabie, what are you doing?
I probably would have been going around checking to see the prices of each inn, checking to see what would be the best suited price for just staying the night in a town for one night before I go off on just somewhere to sleep. So who is this Steve? Oh, it's Steve. Who is this?
Nice.
Gross.
as you see this weird, like, block man walking the streets with his purple sword and his bow.
Damn, is that a platinum level item?
Timmy's a platinum adventurer just
Yeah,
walking by.
yeah, you see. Alright, so, okay, so we're gonna make our first check. Go ahead and grab a d20 and roll it. You're gonna roll an investigation check.
Where's the D20? Oh,
Here, let's, I mean, we can always spawn a new one.
What the fuck?
Check it. Check it.
So,
Does Dyabie have to be?
Alright, so
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
so you're
rolling
making an
what?
investigation check because you're analyzing prices of different inns and trying to see which one's best for you.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, Evanor, make a deception check.
Alright, I got a 7.
With the 20?
Yeah, with the 20. So you rolled a 7, and then you're gonna add. Is this your sheet? Yes. So you're gonna add your investigation, which is a +5. So your total comes out to 13 or 12. Sorry.
Okay.
So you rolled a 12. You
13.
13.
Oh, wait, it's 12.
Yeah, it is 12.
I'm done.
I'm doubting myself because he. So yeah, you kind of you spend most of your time just traveling to different inns and examining the prices, and you have a good idea which is the best inn for you. It's kind of got that. It's not the cheapest, but it also is the best quality in terms of not being not being shady at all, and it just has the best accommodations and whatnot, and it only cost you 2 copper.
Well, that's where I'm going to be staying for the night.
Alright.
I got 6.
Okay, 6. What's your... Okay, we need to find your sheet. Is this... No, that's...
It's over here.
Yeah, over here.
So you're making a deception check, so you add your 6 to your deception score, which is 5, so you rolled an 11. Dyabie, roll an insight check. Okay, so you're following Dyabie around, trying to pose as this person who's like interested and like you want to be friendly to him, but you have him. So you want to be friendly to him because you want to basically see what he's got and see what you can get from. Yeah. So what you rolled is an insight check because you realize that Evanor is following you. He's trying to be friendly to you, but you know that there's something else he's up to. There's another angle, but you're not quite sure what it is yet.
Wait though, but like I rolled an 18, right? But my insight's also +1.
Yeah, so you have a
So
total.
isn't that 19?
Yeah, you have a total of 19.
You got higher than.
Yeah, he rolled a deception check against you because he's and you're rolling an insight because you have a feeling that there may be another reason why he's doing this. You're just not sure yet.
Okay.
Your character's suspicious, but not sure why.
Okay. Come on, do you ever know?
But it's up to you whether you.
I'll just.
It's up to you whether you want to act on it or not.
I'll let it happen for now. If it happens again, I'll call him out on it.
Alright.
Should it be in my favor?
So you guys are doing that thing. By extension, you know the price that he's getting for a room, so you can get it at the same price.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a good price.
Yeah.
I'll probably stick at the same joint as him.
All right. You wanted to make a performance check. Roll a d20 and check your performance.
Yeah.
And we got 1.
I got 14.
14.
14. So you.
His charisma's like already like 6, so it's good.
Yeah. So what is it?
I don't know. Where's my
Your
performance?
performance is +5. So what'd you roll? 14, 19. So you rolled a 19. You kind of strum up a tune on a busy street. You definitely get a lot of head turns. Like people come by, they pay attention to you. Some people like.
Hell yeah.
You kind of. Do you have something? Do you have like a hat or?
A hat.
Something to put.
I mean,
I guess so.
Belt
So
pouch. much. Whatever.
Yeah.
Put it on the ground.
Yeah.
Put the money
So you get a couple of copper pieces. You get about 4 copper pieces just performing.
Hey, sweet.
You also get like you get this random girl who comes up and just spits ink towards you, not at you. It's kind of a weird magic trick. You're not quite sure why it's happening, but it happens. So on top of that, you also get like food, like a baker who's delivering like some loaves of bread, like stops and it's like I like what you're playing, and gives you a piece of bread. You know, it's still warm. You kind of break it open. It's
sweet,
you
dude.
can smell the bread. And that happens.
Okay.
Freaking narrowing got this bread.
Hell yeah.
And then you're just staying at an inn. Do you know which inn you want to stay at? Like, are you just staying?
Wait, can I try to seduce someone and stay at their place?
That's good.
Make another performance check.
Oh shit.
So
Alright.
So you see this figure from behind, and like it's kind of hard to tell with the crowd, like, but you're like that seems like an easy target, and so you like point them out and you're like, this is for you. And she like this person turns around, kind of has like this womanly figure from behind, but as they turn around, it's like this muscular man who just happened to be caught at the right angle of sunlight, and he kind of winks at you.
Oh,
Okay.
Maellon.
Alright, bail on that part.
you just stop.
I just disappear, go again. Try to avoid
All right. So the inn you're staying at is 3 copper. It's a suitable room. It's the one that you kind of hear as you're performing on the streets. It's the one that you kind of hear by word, like people are like, oh yeah, we're going to that inn or whatever.
Alright, cool. I'm good with that.
All right. What are you doing?
Oh no.
I
Yeah.
live here, right?
Yes, you've been here for a while.
So I'm probably just gonna stay at a room of someone who lives here. I probably rented out a room from them
Yes.
for the long term.
You've already made a payment on it, and I will tell you in Discord how much that cost. So Chusk, you are exploring. Make a survival check to make sure you don't get lost.
Survival. Oh shit. I die slowly.
Survival. So 2, and I rolled the dice as well, right?
Yeah, roll it.
Yeah.
10.
So you rolled a 12 on your survival check. You managed to keep your wits about you as you travel through the city. Like, there's a lot of points where, like, you being a shorter person, like, a combination of, like, you kind of create this weird dynamic as you go through the crowd. Like, most people aren't looking at you. They're just going on about their business. Sometimes somebody will look at you, and they'll step back, and it'll create, like, this weird, like, gap. And it just kind of creates this weird, like, dynamic. As you pass through, there are children who kind of they point you out, and you hear them shout in common, monster, monster, and they kind of run around you. They'll like, one of them goes to get a guard, and the guard's quite unsure what to do here because you're obviously not a feral lizard folk. But you kind of meander through the city. You go up these like stairs, like you kind of take a left and the road narrows down, and it kind of winds up. There's these shops that are like on uneven grounding as you go up, just like different like bakeries, potion shops, alchemy shops. There's an outfitter that you pass by at some point, and eventually you get like to the top, and it turns out that these stairs lead up on top of another building, and you can kind of look down into that part of the town. You kind of look down, there's another tall building on the other side, so you kind of see into the street. It's kind of sparse here, like there isn't a lot of people here, but you can see a lot of people down there. and just the commotion. It's a lot more peaceful here, even though you're not, you're not getting away from the noise. Are you gonna stay?
Are you gonna sleep on the floor?
Yeah. Are you gonna just sleep up here, or are you gonna go to an inn? It seems like an ideal spot to like watch the sky, too.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm staying. Yeah.
All right.
Sleep on the floor. Save some money.
Okay, so that's everybody accounted for. Evanor, please roll me a sleight of hand.
On this one?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
9 plus your sleight of hand is 4, so 13. Okay, give me a second. I gotta pull up a list.
That's fine. List of things like a nick. These are regulation, aren't they? They're not weighted.
Please roll a d10 and just tell me what the result is. Don't add anything to it.
Like this is a 10, isn't it?
Yeah, that looks like a 10.
That one?
Yeah, that's a
With a
10.
diamond looking
I
one?
mean, that's a percentile, but it'll do the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, 0.
So that is that's a 10.
Oh wait, is 0 is a 10?
Yeah. So you
Wait, but
Oh, okay. I see how it works.
at the end of the day, you look into your bag and you pull out a brass oil lamp with a map engraved onto the side of it.
Oh. That sounds pretty sick.
Yeah.
You kind of
Can I like examine the map?
Yeah, make an investigation check
Wait, with this one?
with
Or
the d20.
20.
Yeah, whenever there's a check, attack roll, or save throw, it's going to be with the 20.
Alright.
Oh
20.
damn.
You realize as you kind of examine, it's kind of, at first you didn't recognize it because the curvature of the lamp, but you realize that it's actually a map of Gate. Like
Map of Gate.
yeah.
Ah. So I hold on to that for later if we're back towards Gate.
Yep. So you hold on to that. I realize that I'm gonna need to add all these stuff into your inventories later.
You've got things only you can see there, or you? Oh no, you're just writing it.
He's just writing. Do you want the white pen?
No, this is fun. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this later.
Okay.
Is the oil lamp full or is it empty?
It's empty.
Okay.
All right, so you guys all sleep.
Yep.
For Chusk, what happens during the night while you're in the wilderness? Nothing.
Oh, shit.
Nothing happens to you.
Nothing.
Hey, nice.
So you all wake up.
it's daytime though.
Huh?
Why don't we switch it to night?
It's well, you guys slept and it's morning now.
Master.
Oh, okay.
It's master. And then he
I mean, we could do this. You guys sleep.
Oh, that's beautiful. Morning again.
All right, so you all wake up.
Meet back at the guild. Ready?
Yeah.
Right? The guild house thing.
Yep. You all meet up at the guild house.
Yeah.
Let's
Maybe I follow Dyabie.
All right. So you all meet up at the guild house, which is now jam packed. There are people in like armor, robes, like these like some people have like these sigils floating about them. There are people that are literally levitating off the ground, like all crowding around this board. There are some like tall, like 9 foot giants kind of in this room that have these like rocky kind of structure to their body and face, and these tattoos, and then you meet some of these very like slender elves with very flowy dresses and very like natural looking armors and swords of all varieties, swords, hammers, sickles, scythes, spears, every sorts of weapon, including some that that take the form of a sword but seem to be shaped out of lightning and stuff like that. And you guys are kind of sitting in front of this kind of crowd that's kind of like pushing back and forth. It's kind of like breathing as they're all trying to get to the board. I assume you guys aren't trying to get to the board unless you're like...
Yeah, no, we're already got the quest.
Yeah.
We're just meeting up there. It's like common location.
So you find a table that isn't taken. It's the only table left. You guys are now gathered.
Alright, we gotta map out our battle plan. We just well, first let's talk about what we think it could be. We all suspect it's those things, right?
No, I don't think we suspect it's anything. We're just going to see what it is.
Oh wait, I thought
there was
It didn't mention kobolds in the thing, did it?
No, the lady mentioned that it might be kobolds, but she's not sure.
Okay, but I mean that's all we have to go on for right now. What weaknesses do it? I mean, are they just pretty weak, except in groups?
What you know about them is what most people know about them is they attack in groups and they're cowardly by themselves.
Okay.
That's really all that you know about them. Like individual weaknesses.
Their specific strength.
Yeah. You do know that kobolds often regard themselves as descendants of dragons, but nothing they do indicates that.
Okay.
Do they speak primarily Draconic?
Yes, you know they speak Draconic.
Okay, so if we do happen to run into kobolds, I can try to reason with them.
Yeah.
If not,
Well,
then I can...
more specifically, you know they speak Draconic. The rest of you just know they make dragon noises.
Okay, well, yeah, but if we're discussing them, I assume Dyabie brings that up.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm bringing it up that I can try to negotiate with them and try to not get into more trouble than we should be. But if they decide to be fucking idiots,
I mean, yeah, there's five of us.
Then I will absolutely threaten them.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Does he know any specific draconic threats? Some racial threats?
I will cut your pee off.
I don't think that's specific to kobolds.
You mentioned they believe they are descendants of dragons, but like, have they seen a dragon, or could they be fooled that I am like a dragon?
You're not sure. You're not sure the.
Well, you don't speak the language.
You're not sure the details of that. That's you're not exactly one that studies like kobolds. Like you're not, like that amount of.
Convince Dyabie to tell them that.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, if you come up with stuff, just tell the Dyabie and have him relay everything.
Yeah, have him translate. So before we've met Dyabie, we didn't think they actually have a language, or
no, they seem to
didn't understand it.
They speak to each other. It's obvious that they communicate, like they have to in order to attack in these groups. But whenever you hear them, it sounds like dragon noises. It sounds like very small squeaky dragon noises.
It's just like...
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to talk to him like that, that's fine.
Wait, is that how you're gonna talk to them? Okay.
No, that's what they sound like because they're tiny.
I mean, I'm sorry.
The wagon drivers are
Kind of
probably
sounds
dead,
like a murloc.
so I don't see a reason to try talking with them.
Well,
I mean, that's just to
like-
avoid conflict.
yeah, we
Yeah,
don't
I
want
mean,
to
I-
like just fight a bunch of them. We don't know how many are
I-
there.
I disagree, and I want to go try the safe route first with Dyabie.
Yeah. Chill the heck.
Yeah, like if I can avoid getting shanked, I'm all for it.
All right, that's a good plan. I think. Are we ready to head out?
Just one
I
question
mean-
first. Do I know like what kobolds look like, or such?
They
Or
are.
do I?
They are. You guys have at least heard of the description of kobolds. They are very tiny, lizard-like. They're more like dragon-like, but from an inexperienced person or somebody
This
who.
is the picture in your mind.
Yeah. So
All right. Yeah.
I
if they're
could
common, then
be
we all heard about
mistaken that they could be lizard
Yeah, you-
since I haven't seen like.
You could confuse them. Yes, it could be possible to confuse them.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
But I
I
mean,
can-
from what you've heard, like, I mean, you kind of have heard of them. They're kind of like I said, they're pests in this world. Like people consider them as pests. I mean, they're dangerous pests, but they're pests nevertheless. They kind of they show up and they just do things that people don't like. So you've heard of them before, huh?
Okay.
They're dicks.
Yeah, pretty much. They're dicks, but only in large groups.
Dyabie cuts them off.
If Spoly has any questions about the kobolds, I can try to answer anything he has regarding them, since I'm a little bit more knowledgeable
could have some
about
leads.
them.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Sounds good.
I suggest we take horses on the off chance we find anything salvageable.
I
take
also
what?
agree.
Yeah, I'll take a horse so I don't have to walk.
Okay.
Oh, okay. How
So
much are horses?
horses are gonna cost you. For most of you, it's gonna cost 2 silver pieces to use for the day. You could ride a pony if you want, which will only cost you 5 copper pieces.
Oh hell yeah!
Wait, should we be writing numbers to keep track of how many gold pieces we got?
Yeah.
Keep up with the horse in terms of speed.
Yeah, because you don't like unless you guys are driving the horses. So when in a world like this, the horses are there as like beasts of labor / ways to not walk. So you just use the horses. The horse expend its energy to walk, and you don't. You could drive the
I'm
horses.
saying is the pony equivalent to
Oh
a
yes,
horse
yes.
in terms of like effectiveness? Yeah.
When in walking speed, yes, but in driving speed, the pony might be a little slower.
Okay. Yeah. I'll probably go with the pony.
All right. So all of you take horses. I assume you take horses. You take a horse.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all spend 2 silver pieces, except for you. You choose the more frugal option, so you're riding a pony. And you all ride there. It takes roughly the same amount of time as it would walking there, unless you guys choose to drive. I don't know if you guys want to drive your horses. If you guys are just like, we need to get there in a hurry.
So right now we're just kind of walking with the horse.
No,
agree with
you're
they're probably dead. So
You're on the
I'm
horse,
anyway.
just the horse isn't moving very fast. But you can choose to drive the
Just kinda
horse.
trotting.
Walk.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'd say we just kind of take the
Yeah.
horse there. Without
Okay.
driving it.
Easy,
It's
man.
not yet.
Okay, so you all.
Sunday drive.
Are we supposed to write down the cost of the horses?
I
Yes.
wrote it over my thing over there.
Yeah, I'm writing it down for myself.
I guess I should come up with like a system so we can better keep track of it in here.
Like
Or
the frisbee golf thing, with the numbers. Just
Oh,
have to be like gold,
yeah,
silver, copper.
have like a counter system. Yeah.
How much do I have now after?
Okay,
hiring
so-
It says it on
the
your-
horse?
It says you got 10 gold pieces. See the GP on the side here?
So yeah, now
GP.
you're gonna have one.
Gold pieces.
You're gonna have 9 gold pieces and 8 silver.
Yep.
If it's not working, click the red thing.
everything
Click the red thing on the back.
Digits?
No, click the red thing on the back. Yeah, now you can write it.
No, sir. Is everything like 10? Like
Yeah,
10 copper is
Yeah, that's what he said. It's denominations of 10.
the only thing that isn't in a denomination of 10 is electrum pieces, but I'm choosing not to use it in this game.
Okay.
I felt like adding a random currency that 2 costs into a gold is weird, so we're not going to use that.
Alright, sounds good. Wait, are you writing it right there?
Yeah. What if you pick up your sheet?
I wrote it over my thing over there.
Yeah, what thing?
Smalley. I just did plus 4 copper, minus 3 copper.
How do you know this is yours?
Because when he spawns in, all his
These are
stuff
my
is right here.
spells. These are my spells.
I thought you can. I thought you could pick that up.
You can.
You can pick mine up.
Yeah, all of yours have that.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Alright.
Alright.
So
Alright, so we're going there?
yeah, you go there. You guys right in the canyon. So you guys continue on. It's kind of plains on your way there. You pass through all these farms that kind of radiate from the city, and eventually the farms give way to kind of these like long emerald fields of just grass. Little hills form here and there. Little trees poke up in the horizon, and as you continue north, the terrain becomes more hilly. There's more rolling hills, and then eventually the hills form into these kind of these like jagged, like suddenly.
You listening?
I'm trying to remember
He failed his perception.
So
Yeah.
so eventually the hills start turning into these more mountainous figures. They kind of have these steep faces, and then eventually you guys get to this part after several hours of travel. Let's go ahead and clear the map real fast. Besides the dice can stay there. And if you guys want, you can turn on the overhead.
Already.
Do it.
Alright, you guys come across this.
Oh, this is the canyon.
Christ.
Yeah, this is the
It's a big
canyon.
Is this where we believe the caravan went missing?
This seems to fit the location. Alright, so everybody
Okay.
get your token up against this line right here.
Do we have to roll for initiative to see who's in first?
No, not yet.
Shit like that?
So initiative happens when combat happens. So when you guys
Combat. Yeah.
when you guys decide that you want to get stabby, let me know and we'll roll initiative.
Okay.
Wait, is that what these numbers are?
No,
The numbers of help.
Yeah.
If you look, if you open up your menu, your hand menu, and scroll it up and down.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
But it's local, so
Alright.
he's just got to trust that you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also a secret. You're not allowed to tell us your health. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, I guess I should explain here. So traditionally in D&D, when you kill something, you get experience. But because of the nature of how numbers are being recorded here, we're going to go with a milestone progression system, which
Okay.
means that
Sure.
Yep.
which means that when you guys pass a certain story element, or I feel like you guys have done enough fighting, I will just be like, hey, you guys level up.
Hey.
So, yeah. Alright, that's fine. I'm good with that.
I feel like that might fit a little better with the anime theme that we're trying to get here, because like, yeah, unless we're modeling after how to pick up girls in a dungeon.
Wait, what's that?
Which is pretty much what Maellon is doing. Picking up girls in the dungeon.
Hasn't worked so far yet.
And in the guild house, and on the street.
Yeah.
Except when he runs into Venice, man.
Alright, so
What the fuck, why?
let me change the music here. Nope, that's not the right one.
So that's the tavern one. Oh, here we go.
World?
Oh, this one.
Why is it not?
When we run into monsters, this is just gonna be bum 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 bum.
Little rocks everywhere.
Yeah, they're cute. Oh, I was wondering what that was for a second. It was a die.
Yeah.
Why is there numbers written on this rock?
Alright.
Oh, there. That's the one we want.
Wait.
As we make our way into this ravine area, I'm gonna be keeping a lookout.
Okay, make a perception check. So, here's a good opportunity to explain perception and passive perception.
13, yeah.
Okay, so here's so in D&D 5th Ed, you've got two modes of perceptions. You've got passive and active. So what Alareiks just did is an active perception. That means she is actively looking out. When you're not actively looking out, you're in passive perception, which is on your character sheet. So here Jimmy has a passive perception of 12. I think one of you doesn't have a value written in, which I can just tell you what it is. So what passive perception is your character's like soft awareness, like kind of being aware. So the benefits of active perception is when something is not obvious and you succeed in seeing it, you know what it is. Like you're like, there's definitely somebody in that bush. When you're using passive perception and say something like, normally like if somebody is trying to stealth to you, they would roll their stealth and have to beat your passive perception, but just because they roll lower than your passive perception doesn't necessarily mean you spot it. It just means that your character feels uneasy or feels like something isn't right, and it'll give you a chance to actively look. So
did she say anything?
So yeah, actually, as you guys approach the valley, you do see kind of, you see a barrel. And
Okay.
and behind and behind this barrel,
turned it on.
you see this little tail wagging. You spot it. Nobody else has seen it yet.
Oh.
And this is like 30 feet away from
Yeah,
us.
it's about 30 feet. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to whisper stop. And
Whisper? Okay.
I'm going to get off my horse.
Yeah, I'll definitely stop if she's saying stop.
Yeah. I'll just wait patiently, be like, "What's up, yo?"
All right, so you all come to a stop. Your horses stop.
Yeah.
She
Stop,
dismounts.
I won't get off the horse yet.
Okay.
I'm not getting off the horse just yet.
So
I'll probably stay on mine just in case.
Yeah.
okay, so the only person that dismounts is you.
Dyabie said he dismounted, didn't he?
No,
I said I didn't.
He stays.
Oh, it didn't. Okay.
I'm not sure why we're stopping. I'm just kind of like, okay, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, yeah, I'll ask what the go is.
So yeah,
I just point toward the barrel.
okay, you all are now aware of the tail behind the barrel now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Since she pointed it out, you guys technically make perception checks, but since she pointed out, it's an automatic success for all of you. So you all see it now.
By the way,
Does
what
whatever's
did the
behind the
2 mean
barrel-
again?
Huh?
What does the 2 mean again?
The 2 is for my, like, it's for me. It's not for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I have any indication that whatever's behind the barrel sees us?
You are not aware. You'd have to take a gander that it has not seen you yet because it doesn't seem to react yet. The tail just seems to wag rhythmically up and down.
Am I allowed to suggest that
Distinguishable
Dyabie say
from
something?
a lizard folk, or is it like really tiny?
if it's a lizard folk, it's a child.
Oh.
Ah.
But you're not quite sure. That's with only being able to see the tail. If you're like if that is a lizard folk, it's a small child lizard folk.
Well,
Can I? Well,
took off
I'll
my horse
dismount.
then.
Obviously, now that I've seen there's something.
Yeah, same.
Can I get closer to identify?
You can get closer. Do you want to stealth up to it, or are you just gonna walk up to it?
Yes, stealth up to
Okay.
get a
So-
better idea of what's going on.
So you're gonna make a stealth check. So go ahead and get a d20 and roll, and add your stealth score to it.
Eat it.
15.
15?
Nice.
And
Was it
my
19?
stealth is 2.
So
That's pretty cool.
17. Okay, let me double check its passive perception. Okay, so your character decides. So Evanor, you see Evanor kind of crouch low and move slowly up to this creature. You get about let's say you get to this side. You kind of hide behind these rocks and you're trying to peek, and you can see about its arm. You can see a leg. The leg's kind of kicked out. Kind of looks like it's sitting. Its arm kind of just resting on the side. You can't really get a full view of it, but you're 99% sure it's a kobold.
Yeah. And I can definitely see there's only one.
You can see one. Yes. You kind of look down and you see this corridor. You see a rock that's jutting out of the floor about 3 feet up. You see this sheet of rock coming out of the right side. You see that there's a pathway to the left. Let's see what. This is the great thing about maps is I can actually see what you can see. I can see Dyabie's thighs. You can see that there's a.
Oh yeah.
You can see that there's a corridor going to the left, but you can't really see past that rock.
Probably tonight.
Now that I'm closer, can I do an active perception?
Yes, you can do a perception check.
There's others.
So go ahead and roll.
That's actually a good idea. Depending on how many there are, I'm deciding on what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't want to.
Okay, so the rest of you, Evanor, you don't see this, but the rest of you see Alareiks, or Reira, that's her character's name, pull out her bow, and she like pulls an arrow out of the quiver, and she's like getting ready to pull it back. She doesn't quite have it yet, but she's just ready for whatever's gonna happen.
It's like Final Fantasy. She just pulls her bow out.
Yeah.
Roll, Evanor.
Yeah, roll perception.
I walk up to her and
That's a 9.
Nine.
What's that? That's 9.
Plus
Yep.
2.
And my perception.
Oh no, that's
2.
perception.
So that's 11. From what you can examine, there's really not much else you can see here. It's really just that you see through this kind of like mountainous terrain in front of you that blocks the rest of the canyon.
Yeah. I suppose I'll gesture to move up.
All right,
Okay.
you motion to everybody.
Do we know that like he's 99% sure it's a cobalt now?
He hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
The only thing that
Oh,
you
yeah.
the only thing you've seen is him move up, look, and then he's like,
Gesture to come up.
Okay.
yeah.
oh,
I
I don't run forward, but like I move forward fairly hastily.
Hastily.
ahead of everyone else.
All right. So you all are now moving up. All of you make stealth checks unless you choose not to stealth. You're like blatantly like I make as much noise as I want kind of thing.
Honestly, I swear to God.
But otherwise, if you're not, just make
Well,
yeah
he said
D20 add
hastily,
stealth.
So I assume he's not stealthing.
Yeah.
6.
Not really stealthy.
Okay, so
I'm gonna
Reira's
stay where I am too.
okay. Dyabie staying
I got a 9.
9. Okay, are you going up?
Yeah.
Stealth check. Unless
Checking, or you're just walking up?
No,
you're not
yeah,
stealthing.
he's-
Okay, so it's just an automatic fail.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Despite the noise that Chusk is making, it doesn't seem to have stirred any kind of emotion from this creature. You guys kind of move up.
Wait, that's kind of scary if they're usually very skittish. But okay.
So do I see that they're all moving up?
Yeah, you-
For...
You see these two kind of hanging back.
Yeah.
Oh, one second, I gotta reply to a Discord message.
Okay.
Alright, so while everybody's noisily walking up, I'm gonna sneak up behind Evanor. So I don't know if I need to do a sneak check.
You do another stealth check.
I'm gonna ask him. Okay, okay.
To ask what the go.
3.
That was a weak as hell roll.
All right.
It didn't throw. I meant to throw it and it just went up and down.
As you kind of slowly step up, because as you notice, there are a lot of pebbles in this canyon, and you kind of slip on one, and there's like this loud clackety clack as the stones kind of hit each other, and you, Evanor, you hear the sound. It's kind of like this like half snore, and the body begins to start moving, and it stands up, and it starts turning. What are you guys doing? It doesn't seem to have been aware of you yet. It kind of wakes up and it's like doing this to its face, like
Yeah. So groggy or whatever.
yeah.
As it's getting up, wait, and Evanor, is Evanor doing something right now?
You all now have sight of half its body, so it's right now benefiting from half.
Half its body.
Yeah, so it's benefiting from half cover right now.
While it's getting up. While it's getting up, and I try to get up myself, while I'm dusting myself up, I ask Evanor if he was able to see what it was.
Well, you can clearly tell now.
Does
It's a kobold.
Yeah,
You can clearly
see what it is now.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I?
Well, I assume it's probably gonna run away pretty quick. It sees all of us right there.
As it comes
Can I
into
sort of
view...
subdue it? Sort of like a chokehold kind of thing. Like grab onto it.
You can attempt to grapple it. Yes. So it's unaware.
Yes.
It's unaware of you right now.
Are they close enough to grapple them though?
You can move up as part of this thing.
That's what I mean.
So this is kind of like sneak attack right now. So we're in surprise round because combat is about to start. And the surprise round, you're going to make your move and you're going to attempt to grapple it. So what I need you to make is an
I'm thinking to grapple it so Dyabie can sort of talk to it without it running away. Just in case.
It's probably gonna run.
Okay, so you're gonna attempt to grapple it. So go ahead and roll the d20. You're gonna make an athletics check, and it's going to try to. You're gonna make it with advantage, which I will tell you what that means here in a second.
Athletics. Oh shit! I'm 0.
Yeah, but you make it with it.
Demon boy.
5.
Okay, so you're making it with advantage.
You roll another one.
Yeah, you're gonna roll it again because it's not aware of you, so you're getting a benefit here. So you're gonna roll again,
okay.
and you're gonna take the higher of the two rolls.
Alright. 17.
Okay, it's going to try to evade you, which it doesn't. So you kind of run up and you tackle it. You tackle it on the ground. That's the end of. That is the end of surprise round. Now, despite the fact that you have it grappled, which means it can't move, it has a move speed of 0 because you're holding on to it. It can struggle though. So we're gonna start combat here.
Yeah.
So everybody, you're gonna grab a d20, and you're gonna roll initiative.
Yeah.
There's a few on the floor.
And then I'm gonna ask you guys what you rolled.
Is this who goes first?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go down the list in order of chunks of 5s. So I'm gonna ask anybody who rolled 25 to 21, and then you're gonna say what number you rolled, and then I'm gonna go down the list until we get to 0. When you roll your initiative, you'll notice at the top of your character sheet there's an initiative value. That's what you add to the roll.
2, yeah.
I got it.
Alright, so dot.
Okay, so
Alright,
so
I have
so
14.
25 to 21.
23.
23.
Wait, hold on. I haven't. Where's my initiative?
I got 19.
The very top, right here.
23. Okay, so
You
See that I just added?
I got 22.
yeah, you got 22. Okay, 22. 20 to 14 or 20 to 15, by the way. Evanor had 19. 14 to 10.
Ollie?
I got 4 there and I got 2 here, so...
Oh, so you're probably dead
I guess.
last.
14.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Dyabie and then Spoly.
Dyabie.
Other way around.
Yeah. Alright, and then where is my kobold token? Yes. Okay. At the start of the round, as after this happens, you have the kobold in a hold. It has a speed of 0 because it can't move because you literally are holding him. However, Reira is the first one, Reira is the first one to react, as she now that the surprise round is over, she is realizing what's happening. Reira, what do you want to do? From your angle, the kobold has quarter cover.
I'm going to ready action my bow. If I see another kobold coming from around the corner, I'm going to shoot it.
That's a good plan.
So she's ready action. Jimmy, what are you doing?
Can I try to like calm it down to make it stop struggling?
Yes, you can try to calm it down. So first thing is you probably want to move closer.
Yeah.
So this is where movement comes into play. So you have 30 feet of movement. You have 30 feet. So every square is 5 feet. So just keep that in mind. Then we have things called difficult terrain. You can move through your friendlies, but it's difficult terrain because you guys occupy the same space and it gets crowded. So when you move into difficult terrain, it's double movement. So like here, ideally you'd want to do 5, 10, but if you move like this way, it'd be 10, 15, etc.
Okay.
Okay.
And each square is 5, you said?
Yes, on this map, each square is 5.
Okay. Well, that's fine still.
Okay.
I make it to here, and then I.
So does it double the total, or just double the square, the particular square?
It doubles the cost. So it costs 5 feet to move into here, but since somebody's here, it would cost you 10. And you can only do this with friendlies, by the way. If this was, if Chusk,
through an enemy.
if Chusk was an enemy, he would be like, no, I'm going to stop you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, so
it's only that one square.
To then move
Yeah.
to this space is still just 5.
yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
and then other things that might be difficult terrain is like this, like trying to move across this might be difficult terrain and stuff like that. Or say like this is uneven ground because it's been shattered. That would be difficult terrain.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got it.
Okay, how do you want to try to calm it? Keep in mind.
I also have some leftover bread.
Oh, bread. That's
Yeah,
a good
you
one.
have some bread. Just keep in mind that.
Okay, how animalistic are they? Are they like totally like because I mean bread. That's what I would do to like a wild dog or something. Hey, calm down, give it some bread.
I mean, it's still it's an
It's-
obvious gesture.
it's-
Like you're handing it food.
It's sentient. It's capable of using tools. That's as much information I can give you.
Yeah.
It might be just as effective to use like a soothing voice. I'll use the bread.
Okay.
Whatever leftover bread
Yeah,
I have. that didn't eat
I
last
think
night.
bread.
Okay, so you're gonna try to pacify it with bread. You're trying to coo it. So
for
make a perception check. However, it's right now considering you guys as hostile creatures, so you make it with disadvantage.
So I roll
So it's
twice,
half.
take the least.
So you roll twice and take the lowest. Yes.
Okay.
14.
So that's
What was
14.
it? 14.
4.
4.
So
Shit.
you add your
Oh, shit.
persuasion.
Which is... What's my persuasion? 5? No,
Yeah.
Only 5.
So 9. You attempt to pacify it with some bread. You kind of like you take some bread and you try to offer it, but it's not taking it, and it like tries to flail and slap away. So that's your action.
Succeed.
No.
Does it succeed in slapping away the bread? Oh, sweet, I still got the bread.
Yeah, you still have the bread. You kind of hold the bread out, and then as you realize, like it like, because it's a kobold,
It's not responding.
it's a kobold, so it doesn't have normal fingers. It has claws. So as soon as you like realize it's like coming to strike, you kind of pull the bread away. But that's your action. That's
Okay.
Put it back in your bag.
yeah. Evanor, it is now your turn. It is struggling.
Me.
Yep, it is struggling in your grasp. It is definitely trying to get away. From here,
Well,
because
can I like solidify my hold?
you can so what you can do here is you can do non-lethal damage to this kobold. So you can like attempt to knock it out, or like if you do like a chokehold, you can like try to hold it just long enough that it passes out.
Put it to sleep.
So if you're doing that,
We're kind of we're trying to talk to it, but if we knock it out, we can sort of tie it up properly.
yeah, you can also, because you have it grappled, you can like physically move him. Just keep in mind, because you haven't grappled, every terrain counts as difficult. So moving with somebody grappled,
and the fact that this guy's in the way too. So
yeah,
like if I was trying to pull it back, it's difficult terrain again. So
yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, I'll do non-lethal damage.
Okay, you attempt to knock
Punch it in the face a bunch.
All right, so you can use like the opposite end of what's your main
the
weapon?
Same thing as
Yeah, so it's an attack roll. That one.
Two daggers. I think I got.
Okay, so you kind of pull out.
Yeah, 2 daggers.
You pull out a dagger, but you're not using the bladed edge. You're using the pommel. Go ahead and roll the hit. It's going to use the same stats. Use the same stats as your dagger.
7.
7.
Oh, dick.
Okay, and then you add your plus
But
4.
Isn't it grappled? So shouldn't he get?
It's grappled. It's not prone.
So that's 11.
So 11, as you try to conk it out with your dagger, it's moving too much. It causes you to move, especially since you're about the same size as it. It's a little smaller than you. You have a hard time landing the hit, and you slam against its neck, but it doesn't seem to be doing any damage.
Okay.
All right, that is
Now it's
Dyabie's turn.
Dyabie.
Alright. I'm going to move forward up to where the kobold is being grappled. I'm going to pull my dagger out, hold it up to its neck, and ask it if there is anybody else around.
Wrong one.
That's
Spoly.
No, that's Spoly.
Mine
And
is this
he's got
one.
it inside the rock.
So I'm gonna
Meld
move
with the
up
rock,
to
okay.
Evanor and the kobold. Yeah,
Okay.
I take out my dagger, put it up against the kobold's throat, and ask it if there are others around.
Make an intimidation check with advantage, because it's right now surrounded. It fully believes that you intend to harm it.
It's scared.
What the hell? Why can't I grab it? Is it because I'm already holding one? Okay, never mind. Alright, so here, why can't I throw it up? Okay, 5. Alright, 5
And
and...
just do it again.
There we go, that's the kind of throw I was looking for. 5 and 19.
All right, you kind of
19.
pull your dagger out. You kind of grab it by its head. You bring the dagger up to its throat. You kind of press it into its scale, but not enough to cut it. And you whisper, "Do you want to speak in Draconic, or what language are you speaking?"
In Draconic.
Yeah, well, that's.
I'm speaking to it in Draconic.
Okay, you speak to it in Draconic. You kind of hear Dyabie making these dragon noises. It's kind of strange, and it responds back to you as you kind of press up, and he says, "You let me live. I'll tell you everything." Of course, in Draconic, so you just hear
Alright, cool.
But,
squeaky.
Is the kobold Asian?
Yeah, yes, the kobold's Asian. It's an Asian kobold. Speaks.
Real.
I tell you everything.
Do I reply? Do I reply to it?
Yes, you can reply to it.
Are we still in
Do I
combat
reply-
now?
Oh.
Or did
Do I
you,
reply to
It depends on what Dyabie responds.
Let's see.
Your full action is to intimidate this. So this is dialogue.
I tell it. How am I gonna word this? I tell it in Dragonic. You tell me what I want. You tell me what I want, and you get to live.
Oh shit.
So it looks about, and it looks at everybody that's around it, and it turns to you, and it says, "Yes, I'll tell you. Just let me go. Just no dagger, no demon child." And it's absolutely afraid of what you're gonna do to it, and it seems.
Okay.
So do you guys want to just?
It wants to comply, right?
Yeah. So far, only it's communicated with Dyabie.
No. So what I'll do is it still my turn?
Yeah. I mean,
it's
at this point,
so
at this point,
you more information out of it.
Well, I was just gonna say because if he's then at this point I would tie up its legs.
Okay, so that'll be the end of combat. As you guys see, Dyabie kind of move the dagger away from its throat. And do you have rope in your bag? Somebody's got rope in their bag, and you tie up the kobold by its leg. It obviously does not like it, but it doesn't fight you.
But it yeah, it knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Try and give it the bread again.
Yeah, I have rope.
No.
I have
Okay,
I have 50 feet of hempen rope.
You tie it up with hempen rope. You tie up its leg so it can't run. Do you tie up its arm too? Do you keep its arms?
No, I leave its arms just to
Okay,
try to not piss it off more than it's already been pissed off.
Okay, it's sitting on the ground. He's more afraid than angry right now. He only talks to you in Draconic, obviously. It kind of shies away from the demon child.
Demon child.
Let's question it. Ask him if he knows anything about the.
Alright, so I tell it, I let you live. Now, tell me, is there anybody else around here?
Yes, other.
Obviously moved up.
Yeah, other kobolds. Yes.
Yes, other. Yeah, there are others.
You just see this shit. Like this kind of like
Right.
Again dragon noises. Its head nodding very It's definitely it's afraid that its life could end at any moment here, and he's just giving you what you want.
Does it have anything on it? Like, does it have? I mean, like, I'm only going by this picture, but does it?
Yes, it's got a.
Does it have anywhere it can store anything?
It's got a sling. It's got a dagger. It's kind of made in this kind of like ragged clothing around it. Otherwise, he really doesn't have anything else on him.
Okay, so like I can't sort of see if he's got anything that might be from the caravan to sort of confirm.
I mean, he's tied up. He's tied up, and he's
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much naked at this point. So it's if he's hiding something, if he's hiding something, it's an orifice in his body. That's the only way he's hiding it.
Oh no.
All right. Well, it's got his weapons taken off him now.
Yeah. Okay. So it has no dagger. It has no sling.
How far are they? How far away are the other? How far away are the others?
In canyon over there, and he points at both directions.
Points in this direction.
He points in both
directions.
Okay. Both directions.
Oh Christ.
Okay.
Can I do a perception to look in the way he's pointing?
You could try another perception, but there's these physical barriers are literally
result because I'm basically in the same spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think it's gonna do much.
Something could have changed since then. Something could have heard the ruckus. Yeah, so now we know there's others. Like ask him about the caravan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Over here.
Did you nick him with
So, I ask it if it has anything to do with the missing caravan.
If he kind of looks at you, he's not understanding the question. What? We attack wagon. Come by, yes. Thousands of us, yes. We attack.
Thousands of us, holy shit.
Yes, you should be afraid. Thousands of us, yes, lots of us in Canyon.
He's trying to intimidate you. He's trying to intimidate you. Cut off his dick.
You let me go. I not tell them. You live, I live. Good. Yes.
I mean, he's tied up. He can't tell him anyway. So it's a pretty weak bargaining chip.
I ignore what he says and ask if the riders of the wagon are alive.
Yes.
No, that's all.
Can I roll an insight check on that?
Make an insight check.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
Yeet.
Where'd I throw it?
15.
He's lying through his teeth.
With
It's a flat 15.
Yeah, he's lying through his teeth. You know that he's lying.
flat 15. Okay.
Well, you can't tell what he's
So
saying.
that they are definitely dead.
You can't tell what he's saying, but based off his body language,
Alright.
he seems
body
eager.
language.
He seems to be feeding. He seems to whatever he's saying to Dyabie, the tone of its voice, the way that its body's moving, you know that it seems to be doing something to basically it's doing that thing where it's like it's giving you what you want. It's
Anything to get away.
Don't believe what it's saying, whatever you're saying.
It said.
I mean, Dyabie, do you want to tell her what you were saying?
It's telling me that it did attack the caravan, and that the second question I asked it was that the riders are still alive. Was it the first question or was it the second question that he seemed to be lying on?
You're unsure. Since you don't know the language, you can't tell
You didn't
how
know
the questions are formed.
started,
Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
know.
so he's-
I'm willing to believe that it's the latter.
Okay. So if they're dead, then I was gonna bargain his life for their lives.
Yeah, can we intimidate him to make him tell the truth? Like, straight up? Be like,
No,
okay,
That'd be on Dyabie, because only Dyabie can,
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
talk to him.
I'm suggesting it, like, to the group,
Well,
like, hey,
well,
just, like,
here's
slap it around a bit more.
here's the
You
thing
know?
that I'm afraid of, though, because since it seems like he's not as intimidated as he was before, I'm afraid he
Yeah,
might
that's what I'm
call
saying.
out to the other people that are literally right over there.
Well, that you believe are over there.
Oh, that's right.
Because he could be lying about that too.
Yeah,
Hmm.
slap him. Slap him up. That's what I'm saying. I was like,
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing is, if I heard it, I don't know if it's gonna fucking react in a negative way that might.
You don't actually have to hit it. Just, like, hold up your knife again or some shit.
Yeah, non-lethal damage.
Non-lethal
Well,
damage.
not even
Mental
damage.
state damage.
Just threaten it, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like Spoly, didn't you want to come up and see if you can feed some questions to Dyabie or something?
Yeah, first off,
You're all the,
woke up
you're all the way
and
back there.
I'm here.
Oh, you're on the barrel.
since I don't know too much about the creatures, I guess I try to communicate either way. Probably to no
It's-
avail.
Everybody, you see that it's shifting in a weird, like an odd way. Well, what do you ask, or what are you looking for?
He's trying to communicate with it, but there's no avail because he doesn't speak Draconic.
Oh, okay. So you try different languages, but it doesn't seem to respond.
Yeah.
When you speak,
he's not really.
When you speak in common, it does seem to register that it knows common, but it doesn't say anything. It just turns its head towards you.
It recognizes the language but
in any
doesn't
other
know it.
way to my presence, since I mean I didn't attack it or anything like that.
It despite
Does it seem like?
Despite the fact that you didn't attack it, it still kind of considers you as a hostile creature, as you are with the group that threatened it. So it's still afraid of you.
I'm gonna suggest that. Yeah, that you know, I think we've got enough information out of him. We'll just tie him up by the barrel, leave him there.
The thing is, it has claws. Even if we took everything away, hand rope isn't that strong. It's just kind of to detain him. I don't want it. I don't want it to get away. So either we get what we want, or I kill it.
Yeah, knock him out. Knock him out.
Okay.
How long do creatures stay knocked out for?
Hours. Like the length of hours is determined by its constitution, which you don't know. So, like if it's got a hardy constitution, it'll be knocked out for a short while.
That sucks.
But if it's just a little pest looking thing by itself, it probably won't have much.
He's like a little guy. No, we hit him over the head with a rock once. He's gone.
You can. You open the barrel. Inside.
I didn't even think about the barrel.
Inside seems to be like bags of grain.
Alright. Cool.
Yeah, I'll knock him out.
Okay.
I'll try to knock him out.
Since he's restrained, and for the sake of brevity, you won't have to roll. For the sake of brevity, and he's restrained, you just conk him out. He's now out for. I mean, we could sit here and I could watch you. I could watch you guys roll to hit him until you actually do, but you're gonna do that. So yeah, he's knocked out.
Well, I'll suggest that we move forward, with caution, because we don't know if there are thousands of them.
Alright, so you guys don't know that yet. So after we knock him out, I relay all the information he provided me about that he does say that he did that he does remember attacking a wagon.
Shit, we should have asked where the wagon was.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Probably would have lied.
But
is it that way or that way?
He did threaten
to
attack us with
the
thousands of his friends. And the last thing is that he says that that the people in the wagon survived, although based off of
Reira?
I'm sorry, the archer friend here, I didn't catch your name. Reira, based off of what Reira said, I can only assume that the writers have indeed died. I think at this point it might be better to proceed with caution, try to get some sort of evidence of the writers' bodies and the wagon itself, of which we can then call it a day and go home.
Alright.
Fair
Go
enough.
left or right first?
I would suggest.
I want to survival track.
Huh?
I want to track which way has the lesser number of kobolds possible.
Make a survival check.
Like fewer footprints? Eat it. 10.
That's a 12.
You
No. Plus 2.
Oh, sorry.
So you kind of get low to the ground. You kind of look through the dirt because it's just dirt and gravel here, and you do notice that there are there are a lot of tracks that lead this way, and there are a few tracks that lead this way. So a lot of tracks
This way here.
take that way. A few tracks go to the left. Yeah.
Do you have something in your hand?
I have a sword.
Yeah.
I guess I could use the ruler.
Oh,
It's not
I
showing
thought
up.
it was the sword.
Yeah, use the stick. Yeah, that one. So,
Okay.
So there are a lot of tracks going this way.
Yes, a lot of tracks going that way. A few tracks heading this way, but you notice that there are tracks that also kind of pass through.
I don't know. I don't know which way you're pointing. Is it left or right? Which
So
one
s-
has a lot of
Okay, so
tracks?
towards this door right here, there's a few tracks, but towards over here there are a ton of tracks.
Yeah, so heading to the right from where you're at, from the entrance of the cave to the right path, there's a lot of tracks going this way. And then there are few tracks that go left. But when you get up here, you notice that there are a lot of tracks that go between the two.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
A lot back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Well, that sort of doesn't really give us an indication of which way they are.
Well, I guess I can't be the one to ask. Because I didn't make the perception check. Well, do you relay all that information to us, I guess?
I
Tell us
point
about this.
toward the last path and say there are fewer tracks this way. We might want to take whatever kobolds are out there before we tackle the larger group.
Alright, let's go.
Left. And so over this way, you mean?
Okay.
Alright, we in here.
Oh, shit.
So,
Jesus Christ,
you do you just march in like that? Do you just march in? You're just like gung ho, let's do this?
Jesus Christ. Chill out.
I guess I sneak.
Alright, make a stealth check.
How far can we walk?
13 plus, I don't know. So.
We're not in combat, so we can go as far as we would like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Only in combat does it thing. I mean, I'll probably go. Oh shit!
I got a 16.
Okay, 16.
Alright, you guys move forward over there, but I'm gonna stay behind this rock right
Yeah,
here.
I'm
you guys are back
I'm
there?
sticking with the rock. Yeah, I'm sticking with
Fuck
the
it,
rock.
I'm up here. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm walking up with
Oh,
you.
no, I don't care.
So Chusk,
faster.
what do you roll? What do you roll?
Wait,
Chusk?
I need to roll.
So you rolled a 16. So you kind of go up, you crouch, you kind of hug this.
Is he stealth to this point?
Yeah, he's kind of hugged up against this rock, kind of using the rock as cover. As you look in here, you see 4 kobolds kind of sitting around.
You rolled a 19 or a 16?
Yeah, I rolled 19, I think.
19,
Okay, so
Sneaky boys.
Chusk is also sneaking. He learned his lesson the first time. So you kind of see.
What are these?
Are these kobolds?
Yeah, they look like. I know their pictures look different, but they look like normal kobolds. You can make a perception check though.
Okay.
Because they might not be normal kobolds.
13 plus, 2, 15.
Okay, so you do notice, you kind of peer over this crate. The crate kind of provides cover for them. You do notice that these kobolds have like a mass on their back. You kind of, from this distance, you kind of can't, really can't tell, but they kind of resemble that of wings, which is
All of them?
no, just this one.
Oh, just these two.
Just
the
this
two
one.
different
Just
ones.
that one?
Yeah, the one that you can see, because the other one's kind of behind the crate still.
Oh, he can't see that one.
So yeah, you kind of see these kind of masks that look a little bit like wings, which is very strange for kobolds. Like, you've heard rumors.
Dragons, after all.
You've heard rumors of winged kobolds, but it's one of those things like nobody's ever seen one, but now you have.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Oh, shit.
Or he believes he has.
yeah, it looks like
Right.
it. And they seem to be playing with something that looks a little bit like bones.
Oh shit. Okay, can I whisper to everyone else like, hey, I think I see some winged kobolds with bones?
Yeah.
Question mark? It's like we should investigate, see if the bones of the riders or whatever.
Well, I mean, you're gonna send them to the lab for DNA analysis?
No. If we find well, do we know anything about the riders? Like from
No.
the description of
There's no description of them. You can only assume that they're humanoid.
Well, shit. I mean, if we find like humanoid clothing and stuff, because they don't wear clothing really.
No, they wear like rags.
Yeah. If we find clothing on the bones or any of that shit, so.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't leave the clothing on the bones.
Well, like around, I assume they like
Yeah,
or something.
be laying. Yeah.
So we gotta clear the place out, and then. Well, that's like what I'm suggesting. I suggest to the group in a whisper, it's like, hey, let's clear this place out. Let's check to see if we have any, evidence. And then I ask the group if we should attack.
You kind of, Jimmy.
Do we know? We know there are four. Well, we can see 4 hostiles.
Yeah, you can.
I thought we could only see these 2.
You can.
No, those 2 we've identified are different.
You can see.
Oh, no, this one we've identified as different.
You can see the 2, and you can hear 2 more on the other side.
Alright, so we can see the 2 that are directly in front of us after these boxes, but we can hear more noise coming from the house.
Yeah, well, in Jimmy's perspective, he can see
we
these
can
2.
See these 2, and we can hear these 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so as far as we know that there are enemies. There's a kobold and then one weird one with wings. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're taking point on this one this time, Maellon, you're like, oh, I can hang back.
Well, I want you guys to do stuff if you guys are planning to do stuff.
No, I'm fine back here.
Hey, okay,
I mean,
wait.
Alright, it's from where I am, since I'm right next to this building right here. Can I do what's called a perception check to see if there's anything here behind us in this building?
Yeah, you can. So you kind of
this area.
You kind of look this way. Go ahead and make a perception check. So unless you walk over there to see what's around that, you're just kind of looking at this perspective right here.
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of peeking in to see if I can see anything from here.
Okay.
There's nothing.
I'm just trying to make sure that there's nothing coming up from behind us.
Yeah, go ahead.
Perception includes noises as well, too, doesn't it?
Yes.
Not necessarily vision. Yeah.
9 plus 3, it's 11.
11. You can. 12. So you can. you can hear the sound of kobold coming from this side, but you can't see them.
Oh Christ.
Wait, so
question, how big is a fireball?
Oh god.
What's your question?
How big is a fireball?
It's
how big is a fireball?
Oh, the 20 foot radius from point of origin.
Oh, that's not that big.
It's plenty big. It's 4 squares. It's 4 squares from the origin, so it's actually 8 squares across.
Like radius.
Yeah.
Radius.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And is that cast at a location or from him?
He chooses where it happens within a certain amount of feet. I think 120. I'd have to remember. But he doesn't have it yet.
Alright.
Shit. Oh, he doesn't have it yet. Oh,
He doesn't have
a fireball. There was a cantrip.
No, you have fire bolt. Fire bolt is different than fireball.
It's not.
Firebolt is you throw this little like mote of flame, you throw it and it like turns into a little fireball, but it like only hits one target. It's your ranged attack spell.
Yeah.
What other ones do we have on?
Are we still like in the process of taking turns, or can I just
No, you
say
can
something and do it?
You can do it. Right now you're not in combat. They don't realize that you're there yet.
All right.
One sec.
I turn to Dyabie and ask him how to say like, "Hey, what's up?" or something.
Well,
or like,
you can't. Can you ask him how to say something in a language?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah, whether you could say it correctly is entirely a different.
I got plenty of charisma, dude. I'm not worried.
All right.
Like say like a common greeting phrase or some shit like that.
As
You really
as
gonna
Maellon,
walk up and say hi?
as
Can I
Maellon
move
comes
further
out.
back?
Wait, hold on.
It's okay.
Because you still don't know anything. Everyone over here is looking at Maellon, freaking trying to greet the goddamn kobolds, and I'm over here like, hey, there's some fucking people in here. So as Maellon comes back,
worry about them
and
later. Wait, no, what? I don't come back yet.
There's literally people in this house right here behind us. As you come back, and I see that you're asking me this question, I disregard your question to let everyone else know. I'm getting to it. I disregard your question to let everyone know that I do notice that there are enemies behind us in this building right here.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
In this building.
Yes, I made a perception check a little while ago because I'm right in front of this door. This building right here. There's a building right here.
Wait.
Oh, it's like a little corridor. It's not an actual building. It's like a stone passage.
Yeah.
It's like a thing here, right? And then there's a door right here. See the door?
What door?
What?
We're in like a canyon right now. We're like outside.
Oh, hold on.
Wait.
Are we?
I think you're out of sync.
Dude.
She's just running straight in.
Hold on. Give me a second. Dyabie. Dyabie, do you see buildings loaded as well? Like, is this like
Yes, I see
Oh, okay,
buildings.
yeah, you're out of sync. You
Shit.
try.
That's why he kept saying buildings.
Try rejoining.
I was like, that's such a weird word choice.
Okay, hold on, because I see the barrel right here, but I'm like.
That means both battle maps. That means both battle maps loaded. Go ahead and reload.
Oh,
They just
okay.
turned one off. And
I did.
turn
It's.
it off, just toggle one.
I tried. He still sees it though.
Shit.
Oh Christ.
I didn't see you toggle
He
it.
must have really failed that perception check.
I didn't see you toggle
Yeah,
it.
I just toggled it like a second ago to see if it.
No, wait,
Wait,
a
turn
second
the
ago,
buildings on. I want to
anything
see what he
happen.
was seeing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No wonder
Yeah,
things.
It makes sense. It almost completely makes sense.
Yeah, it actually kind of fits.
Yeah. What the heck?
Yeah.
A battle map for next time.
Yeah, okay. You had it wrong.
I was wrong? What?
Do you see the mountain?
Because you were out of sync.
I see. Okay, look. There's a giant rock right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
There's
there's a
a
house over
wooden
here.
house right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Oh.
Jesus.
Still. How are you still? Oh, I don't know if I toggled it while you're.
Toggle it. To toggle it again.
Is it
Did
gone?
you turn everything
Something
off?
happened. Something happened. Yeah, there.
But now I see buildings.
Now you're out
Now
of
I
sync
see
with us.
the buildings.
Yeah.
Wait. Now you
Leave
see
and join
buildings?
now. Leave and join now.
Okay, hold
Yeah,
on. Yeah,
turn-
because
turn
I can see
everything
what
off
y'all are
first.
looking at now.
I
Hold on.
mean, it's kind of funny how the door is right there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it kind of fits. Like there's this house over here, and
Wow,
We're
it's
crammed.
kind of surprising how well, at least over here, how well it meshes.
yeah, it's actually kind of funny.
How do I get into this area?
Now I see them both combined again.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
That's
Done.
correct. That's correct. Turn it
Yeah.
off now.
So
Okay. You good?
Okay, now I see only the
canyon.
canyon.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, so
We
this
can
is the
we
huge
we,
open area.
we can resume our game now.
What the fuck? What the hell? How is there an opening here? Just like in the fucking fucking tower. I was trying to open to the. I thought there was a house here.
Alright.
No. That's why
Hey,
I'm like.
you're standing up in the open here.
That's fucking terrifying.
Which is why I said you could hear things down this way, but you can't see anything.
Yeah. But like, I also like it's too big of a space. I don't care. I care about these guys.
Okay, so
Is Reira attacking already?
Shit, if she's running up and attacking.
What is she?
Is
Is she an archer or?
No, she's a human, variant human.
she's a ranger. She can use both.
Oh, she is.
Okay.
Alright,
So-
what did she do?
So she's going up to attack.
What did she do?
To move through alleys.
Since you're not being exactly stealthy, they are aware of you as you enter, but you get the surprise round.
I remember wrong.
That's when it's in. Like, are we able to move at this point? Like to get up to position?
I would say you guys can move 10 feet, and then that's where we'll start combat.
Alright.
Because I was back here.
Y'all can move
and so 10
because
feet. All over here.
It's one box is 5 feet, right?
Yeah.
Did
So you
you
move
already
2
attack
boxes.
Someone?
She's about to attack
Yeah,
somebody.
she's already
So,
attacked.
She hasn't rolled yet, but she's about to.
Why is she up close if she's range? Why is she up close if she's range?
She can do both.
She's getting impatient.
Oh, okay.
Rather in
Just
D&D,
imagine like walking.
you're not locked.
Just a bow and arrow.
You're not
You're not
locked
locked to a
to.
weapon class.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm just like saying if her main weapon is a bow, like.
Oh, she has a bow. She has a bow and 2 short swords.
Okay. Where? There you are. What's happening?
I was waiting to get the go-ahead to roll.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep.
For.
That's a 9, so I guess.
No, it does not hit. They are aware of you because you just ran up, so you made a bunch of noise, and you kind of swung down on it, and it kind of rolls out of the way. They're all sitting, so they're kind of like half prone. So it rolls out of the way, out of your attack. Everybody roll initiative.
I only get one strike.
Make your other attack. Make your offhand.
Because it was surprise, wasn't it?
She's wielding with 2 weapons.
10.
It's 10, I think.
15 to hit.
15 to hit on number 2.
On number 1.
On number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that connects.
The one with wings?
Yeah, she's attacking the one with the wings. So that does connect. Please roll damage. I believe you don't add your modifier to it. So just 3 damage.
I thought it's only.
You're.
So it'd still be a plus 3, right? For my
No, it's modifier you don't add to your offhand.
Okay, then yes, it's just 3.
So you.
Modify to main hand.
So you swing with your offhand attack. It's not as strong as your main hand attack, and it connects. You end up cutting into the kobold side as it kind of rolled away from your first hit. Everybody roll initiative. I want to know people who rolled 25 to 20.
Oh man. I got like a 9. I got 9.
So 21 to 20 or 25 to 20.
I got a.
You got 8?
19 to 15.
Your dish is pretty bad.
18.
19.
18.
You got 18. Okay.
Oh wait, I
got
to
18,
add
yeah.
the thing, right? So
Dang it. I got 9.
What'd you get?
I got 9.
14 to 10.
13. 13.
What'd you get, Chusk?
I got 10 in total.
10. Okay. 9 to 1.
That's me. I got 9.
Okay. This is the combat order.
Okay.
Evanor, as you realize what's happening, you are the first to react.
Yeah. I'm all the way back here though.
Yeah, you hear the sounds of yelping as Reira bites into one of these.
Yelping.
She what?
She bites in her sword, like cuts into one of them.
It's like she actually. I thought you meant she actually bit one.
No, the only person that can actually bite is Chusk.
So his teeth counts as a weapon.
Yep.
Oh. It's like a special attack thing.
I'll move just closer up for now, up to, so that's 1, 2, 3, but one of them was occupied.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's 20, isn't it?
Yep. You have 10 more feet of movement if you want.
I'll move up for now just to.
Okay.
I'll go to this spot here to peer around this way.
All right.
And then I'll go for perception to see what I can see is happening.
Okay, so you take an examination. You're at an angle where you can see the two. You kind of see what's going on here. You could roll perception if you want.
That's a 6.
I can't see through.
6. Okay.
It's a 6. I believe you.
Yeah, it's a 6.
I think it's because Dyabie's over the top of it. I can't see.
Okay, 6 plus what?
Yeah.
6 plus what?
You're not too big.
2.
I'll pretend I didn't see anything.
That's enough. That's enough. You see this one also overhead.
Oh shit.
Oh
shit. Like, is my turn over, or can I?
You as an action, you kind of perceive, you like examine in more detail, and you kind of notice this little pebble fall off the side, and you look up and you see this kobold with a sling.
Okay.
But it is your action, so you can't really do anything. You could tell other people though.
Okay. Yeah, like I was going to signal up there.
All right. So you pointed out. You mentioned that there's a kobold here. Everybody's now aware of this kobold on this little like platform. All right.
Ledge. Yep.
It's Dyabie next.
Dyabie.
I'm figuring out what I want to do. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. So noticing Evanor point up there, I'm going to move forward. Let's see, 5, 15, 20. I'll stay right here, and I'll use a fire bolt at the one up there.
Okay.
What's the range on that?
Let's see.
It's 120 feet, so I'm good.
Okay, so.
Okay, it's this platform still kind of obscures your vision, so he's getting half cover right now, but you can still roll to hit.
Alright, cool. Wait, it's
There's one here.
So you're gonna roll a D20?
10.
Yeah.
D20?
You're rolling a D20 to hit, because you're making a ranged attack spell.
Oh, okay, so...
We gotta see if you hit.
16.
Okay,
16.
with modifiers, you definitely hit.
Do I add anything to it?
Yeah, you'd add your spell attack bonus, but I already know it's gonna be above, so go ahead and roll a D10 for fire damage.
A little diamond looking one.
Ooh.
9.
9 fire damage as you kind of you raise your hand, this little mote of fire appears, and you kind of lob it up, and it fires in an arc and catches like mass as it gains velocity, and it just engulfs this kobold in flames, and it kind of just screams as it's on fire, and then it falls off the cliff and is now dead.
Holy shit.
He's not dead.
Wait, does the fire hurt her?
No.
That's brutal.
Or no, it's on a separate tile.
It's
okay.
on, yeah.
Damn.
It rolls over. It rolls over, tries to put out the flame, but it's burned to ash. But its belongings are not affected by the fire, as it is magical.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right, so it is no longer on fire.
No, it's a pile of ash now.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right, whose turn is it
Whether
next?
it's on fire or not doesn't matter to me.
The wing thing.
The winged. Okay, so these kobolds get to act first. First of all, they stand back up, which is half their movement. This one is going to turn, and it's going to take a. It's going to stab you with a dagger. I need a d20.
Good luck with that.
And it misses. And it misses in the most spectacular way possible. As it like lunges forward, you like easily sidestep it. You see it coming a mile away. This one, the masses on its back stretch out, and it has this kind of bigger form, I guess, as its wings like fully expand and it begins to fly. I need the ruler.
Shit.
Oh, shit. He's trying to get away.
As it's flying, it picks up this large boulder on the ground, and it flies up 15 feet, and it's now 15 feet in the air.
It picks this particular boulder up.
Not this one. It's
Okay.
Just a boulder.
Yeah. And that is their turn. Whose turn is it next?
So, Toaster, so now that it is in the air and everybody can see it, is it wearing armor?
No.
Yeah, I don't.
Despite its image, it's not wearing armor.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So it basically just looks like these ones with wings.
Yeah. And a rock. You know how that one creature in Monster Hunter picks up the rock and uses it? That's what he's doing.
Monkey.
Spelly, what are you doing?
Wait, so my Eldritch Blast has 170 feet range, I believe.
That is correct. It's got 120 feet. You can clearly see it, and it's within range.
Okay. Well, I.
Okay, make a ranged spell attack. It's gonna use your spell attack bonus.
Oh shit! Oh, I wonder why I couldn't move.
Is it with a D20 or?
Yeah, D20. It's a ranged spell attack.
There you go.
Okay.
My bad. If I'm in the way, I'll move. Hold on.
Spelly.
I just wanted to get better advantage.
Yeah, just put it there.
Yeah. No, there's one over here. Hey, where are you going? I'm looking up the spell.
Me monkey! He's a rock!
Did we get an attack?
I think he's talking to someone.
So your spell attack bonus is 4, by the way.
So, am I allowed to know about these spells? Are they common knowledge, or...?
No. You know, if you share a spell and they cast it, then you know that it's that spell. But if it's a spell that you don't know, then you don't know what it is. You can try to identify a spell, especially if it comes from the same class. So, like, if you were a warlock and he cast a warlock spell that you don't know, you could attempt to try to identify it.
And what, learn that spell or just know what it is?
You just know what it is.
Okay.
Though the only people that can learn spells in that fashion would be Dyabie, because he's a wizard.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Wizard.
Probably did.
You're a wizard now, Dyabie.
I'm a wizard. I leveled up?
No.
No.
Hey,
Oh no, Spoly. We'll get back to Spoly. We'll get back to Spoly's turn. So he'll just be on hold for now. Jimmy.
So we just ignore the thing flying at the moment?
Yeah. Well, when we come back, like before we end the turn, we'll. Jimmy, what are you doing?
Yeah. Jimmy's reading up.
He wants to cast a spell.
Cast spell of shut the fuck up. Cast. Oh my god. I was trying to see if I could do something with this guy in the boulder. So, just as a hypothetical, can I use prestidigitation as like solar flare? It says I can create a small, harmless, sensory thing.
You can, but within 10 feet.
Could I blind it?
If he was within 10 feet.
You're really far away.
Would that do it to himself as well?
No.
What?
No.
And this is create harmless sensory effect. So if I get close enough, I can just be like solar. I wanted to blind it and then have the rock fall on it, but I'm too far.
Right. So, what's the deal with cantrips? Cantrips use any time. And
You
it's
can
one
use
action, but it's unlimited.
Yes. It takes whatever action its spell says it takes. Normally, it's an action. So
Okay,
sometimes they have a.
keep using it. There's no limit.
Yeah, there's no. It's not like spell
what
slots.
number
So
each day.
yeah, it's not like
Okay.
spell slots. You just keep casting it until you decide you don't want to cast it anymore.
All right. I use vicious mockery.
Oh,
to call this guy a fat bitch.
you point.
Yeah.
Which one? The one in the air? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I call him a fat bitch.
You point at it. You call him a fat bitch, even though he doesn't like. He seems registered common. Let's see how he feels about that.
I think it was a 14.
Yeah.
It's a
He is what's your save? Or what's the save on your? So on the back of your character sheet, it should say save DC.
Save DC. What does that mean?
So 13.
Me?
So he rolled a 14, and he gets a. So yeah, he's offended by what you say to the point of tears. Roll a D4.
A D4.
D4.
Here.
There's one right here. There's one right here.
A little triangle.
Oh, he's already got one.
Yeet. I got a 3.
you do
That's
three.
three.
You do three psychic damage to him.
Hell yeah.
Oh, whoops! Didn't mean to do that.
Damn. You actually hurt his feelings.
Yeah. Get fucked. Oh, and he's also at a disadvantage
Yeah,
now, right?
his next attack will have disadvantage. So.
Hell yeah. You can't see through his tears.
Yeah.
He's gonna fuck with a sex attack. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's this is why he attacks.
But misses and then puts his mouth.
What?
This has gone a little wild. Reira, it's your turn.
Oh wait, I
Which,
can
yeah.
pick up the fucking cantrips thing? Oh my god, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm over here fucking using my phone.
What'd you roll? This?
I'm going to follow up on the guy I was attacking before.
Okay, roll the hit. As you swing with your main hand.
7 again.
Yeah, that misses. As it kind of rolls out of the way. Did you just... Abusing the dice does work. Go ahead, roll damage.
18. Okay.
How much damage?
6 damage. As you finish it off, you kind of slash your offhand sword into its body. There's a deep cut. There's a little bit of blood spray as you kind of take specks of blood onto you, and it dies.
Oh shit, he's actually dead. Oh yeah.
Yeah, these guys don't have armor, apparently, so it's probably pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, if I could hurt this one, just call him a fat bitch.
Alright, it's the kobold's turn, then hopefully Spoly comes back. So the kobolds are now going to act.
Yeah, what
And
the
takes
fuck?
that along.
They seeing her are gonna gang up on her. They have pack tactics.
Oh shit.
So roll with. So the first one hits. The second one also hits. What's your AC actually?
It's 15.
Yeah, they both hit. So you get they pull out their daggers. I actually need a D4, not a D. They pull out their daggers and they stab. They both stab at you. One hits you for 5 piercing. The other one hits you for 3 piercing, for a total of 8 piercing as they both hit you.
Ah, shit.
Are you still up?
I have pain, and you guys see that one of my arms is just hanging from its side.
Oh shit!
Oh, fuck. Why did you run in like that? God damn it.
Spoly, come back! It's your turn.
Spoly!
Looks like the hand's going up and down a little bit, but I think that's just the
That's just just the item.
All right.
Can someone ping him on Discord?
Can I be on the same square as somebody else?
No, you
As long as
can't.
I'm not an enemy.
You can't be on the same square. You can only
You
pass
can
through
pass
other.
through.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna act for Spoly. Since Spoly already said he wanted to blast it out of the sky, so I already know what he wants to do. So he's got a +4 spell attack bonus. Which does connect.
Really upset,
So he kind of extends his hands out, and these kind of like black fractal energies kind of appear around his hand. They strike like lightning. They pierce through the air and they explode on this this kobold, dealing 7 force damage. You kind of see this puff of clouds as it explodes, and from the clouds you see this drop to the ground.
Damn.
I assume that's what Chusk
Demolished.
wanted to do. So that will be Chusk's turn.
Yeah,
Wait. Spoly was actually before me in the order.
Yeah.
And like, does that mean I don't call this guy a fat bitch? Cause
No, you do. We were just doing a weird like order change because he wasn't here, and we were hoping he was coming back. Okay, start of a new round. It is Evanor.
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm. Fuck. Like she's. Well, we don't have to worry about the flying ones now because they're gone.
Yeah.
So we've got quite a few turns to help her out. Like, am I noticed? Like, does it count as a sneak attack?
It's here. Give me a second. Where's my D20? Yes, it's aware of you.
20.
It's
aware of me.
It's aware of you. Just chose not to go after you.
Okay.
Probably because you're very small and hiding behind a crate.
Red demon child. Well, I'm going to. What are my things?
Keep in mind, you also have first level spells too, if you want to look through those.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at that.
I wonder where Spoly went.
What do you want to do?
Can I cast sleep on the closest one to her?
Yeah. So sleep affects a square. Hold on. Let me.
What is it?
Sleep. Range.
It's really interesting.
Creatures within 20
Range 9
feet. So you.
Oh, so it's multiple.
Yeah. So you point an origin, and it's within 20 feet. So you could hit.
Well, Well, it doesn't matter really because
Yeah.
they're right next to each
So
other.
you want to hit in a direct in an area that doesn't hit thing. Okay.
So sleep affects her too as well. Okay.
Yes. So sleep is gonna hit everybody in the square.
20 feet.
Yeah. So you're gonna want to target like way back here. Or sorry, you're gonna target
somewhere over here.
You're gonna target this space because it's 20. So it's 10 that direction, 10 that direction. Which will affect the 2 kobolds.
Oh, it's 20 diameter. It's 20 diameter.
Yeah.
Or the unit, yeah, like unit, yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna get a D8 and you're gonna roll it.
Hit this one as well?
Yes. So you're gonna get a D8.
Yes.
And you're gonna roll it 5 times and add it all together.
Oh, this one's 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright,
so 2
2
plus 9, so
7, so 9. 2
11
2
13
plus 1 2
15. Okay. So you have 15 points of worth 15 points worth of sleep, which is enough as you point in the direction and like a little bubble like floats out up from your fingertip and it lands in the thing, and then suddenly the area is just shrouded in mist, and as it passes through these kobolds, they kind of look at each other and they just drop to the ground.
Are they dead or asleep?
They're asleep.
Oh, asleep. Okay.
You put them to sleep.
No worries.
All right. So at this point, either combat has ended or somebody can come up and kill them in their sleep.
All right. Oh, you know what? I think it might be good to tie them up if they're asleep, because we might get some more information out of both of these.
Alright, well, with my
like,
turn, after Evanor put them to sleep, I come up here. Let me see. So what? That's 5, 10, 20. Well, I'm right here, like I guess on top of the boxes. I don't know.
You're on top of the boxes.
I tie them up with my. I tie both. Yeah, I tie them both up back to each other. Take all their items and tie them up with rope.
Okay.
Easy.
So they're tied up, and that will end combat. That also is going to be the end of the first session, since it is now 4:10.
Yeah.
So.
Stepping point.
Yep. Combat has ended. Make sure you all take your gold and silver and copper expenditures and DM them to me, so I can update your character sheets.
Yeah.
And also.
Yeah, so I was like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's the end of the first session. I hope you guys liked it.
Yeah, I did. Spoly did too, but he's dead.
Spoly died.
If he dies in real life, does his character die?
Was it really?
I wanted to do more.
Well,
it seemed like it was so short.
It was like 2 or 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
It was 3 hours.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, a little bit of that time was spent setting up, so.
Yeah.
Explaining and.
Yeah.
Waiting for you to upload to the Reddit account, you know.
I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
So yeah, I mean, probably same time next week if we want to keep doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume that there was like nothing else in this area. I mean, like nothing. Hostile.
Well, if there is, you guys will find it next session.
Okay.
Hey, cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
So yeah, that's.
I think I'm gonna go eat food now.
So yeah,
Good sesh though, toaster.
Next turn, I rape the kobold.
That sounds like Maellon's job. He's gonna seduce them.
Let's all go watch Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Me and Alareiks have to sleep, so we won't be able to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, do we know if they're female kobolds?
Let's see. Roll an intelligence. Roll an intelligence check.
What, the 20 I assume?
Yeah, D20, and then you're gonna look at your intelligence modifier.
17.
That's probably pretty high. That's pretty high.
Intelligence.
+2, so 19.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, 2.
19.
Yeah,
So, you know that kobolds reproduce by laying eggs.
Wait, but
Yeah, but
he's trying
you
to
still
see if
need
they're
male and
female.
female to lay eggs.
These are what's the term?
Asexual?
Wait, is
No.
it only like one gender?
Oh, so,
Yeah.
So they're not dimorphic. They're
Yeah.
not sexually dimorphic.
Yeah, they just
okay.
They're like Pokemon.
yeah.
Well, Pokemon have differences between
They
genders.
they just
Not if it's a Ditto.
Dittos don't have a gender.
Exactly. You just slap a Pokemon in with a Ditto, you get married.
Yeah,
But-
that's completely different to this situation.
But I mean it's just a tidbit of information that like it really doesn't like have any consequence to it.
Yeah. It's just for the hell of it.
Well, they have an asshole and I have a knife. They better fucking start talking.
Or we're gonna make Maellon use his weapon, if you know what I mean.
What the? No. I'm not gonna.
I'm just gonna like lift his tail up. Look, man, I look like a vagina
Can I-
fire, right?
Can I intimidate Maellon to seduce the kobolds?
I'm leaving. See you guys. Bye.
Oh my god, this was such a good fucking. We have to do this next Sunday. Oh my god.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll come up with like better ways to keep track of everything. But yeah, we can do this next Sunday, same time, same place.
I mean, like, definitely make these sliders, you like with your menu, because my sliders are all over the goddamn joint. Like I'm dead, Dyabie's dead,
Yeah.
Spoly's dead.
Well, I mean, player health you won't be able to, like, it doesn't matter if they're off, cause the only one that matters is yours, for you.
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, well, I'm dead, so is that game over?
You're dead.
Take the slider off of mine. I'm never gonna use it.
No, I'll just keep it there. It's fine. I mean, I
If Evanor didn't put him to sleep. Oh, God,
Oh no, I was just talking about the sliders. Like, I'm still trying to figure out a perfect way. This is just the compromise because I can't pass variables in Unity because of VRChat.
Yeah.
All I was gonna say is that Evanor, because I didn't know what Evanor was gonna do. I thought he was gonna like try to sneak around and stab him or something.
Well,
But-
that's what I was going to do, but I you know, like, I was seeing, so.
The only thing to
I thought
the only
I'd go
thing
for
to
sleep.
remember is you used one spell slot. So when we come back, you have to remember that you used one spell slot. So you have 2 left.
Oh, how do I tell how many spell slots I've got?
They're on your back. Like,
On the back?
yeah. Oh, you actually have 2, so you have 1 left.
Oh, okay. And so what that refreshes when we sleep or something, does it?
Yeah. But when you go to sleep, you'll
Okay.
get your spell slots back.
Yep.
See, I was just gonna go up on the boxes and use fucking prestidigitation and use a blinding light to blind them while I try to get her out of. I keep forgetting her name. I'm sorry. Because I was just referring to her as toaster wife, and I'm like, I feel like that's rude.
Her character name is Reira.
Reira. I was gonna use that too.
Reira.
You can just call her Battlewarde if that makes it easier.
Reira. I'm sure I can remember Reira. I just have a really bad memory, like it's awful. But I was gonna find them and
the
see
only
if
way
I
I
could
remember
take her
my
out of
name
the
is
way.
because it's my name.
And I was gonna see if I can get her out of the way, but because that was
Well, yeah,
that was a lot
that
of
was my main
damage she
thought. Like, her
took.
arm's about to goddamn fall off.
Yeah, but I mean, this is level 1. This is kind of stuff that happens at level 1. I mean, like in Goblin Slayer, that is pretty accurate. Like, goblins do that to parties. Like, not actually rape them, but they will fuck up a level 1 character.
Yeah, but this was really fun. I can't believe I fucking hit that guy. That combo level before that shit. It's just like, alright, roll. I'm like, alright, how much damage did that do? Nah, he's fucking dead.
It doesn't matter, he gone.
Oh my god, there was so much I could have done. I'm like, I kind of wished he was still on fire so I could use control flames, and I'm just like, ah, so many things I could have done.
Yeah.
But that was lucky that I seen that one up the top there.
Oh, that was all you.
Yeah, that would have that would have been
like,
that would have been pretty nasty if he attacked one of you.
She could have got really fucked up. Like she actually probably could have died because on there because it was the same type. So they probably could have jumped down and gotten her.
Yeah, no, because I kind of saw it, but I was just kind of like doing this, you know, and I saw it like in here. I'm like, oh, there's one behind there. I'm like, I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't see it. And then
I didn't even realize.
Yeah, and then when you freaking search for it, Evanor just not Evanor, Toaster just went like, oh yeah, and there's one up here, and he grabbed the one that was in the little hole. I'm just like, oh. This was very reminiscent of, but wait, there's more.
Well, I'm glad you guys had fun.
Oh hell yeah!
Alright, good night, Toaster.
Good night.
Definitely had a lot of fun. Can't wait to do it again.
I may have to have some sort of because it's 10 o'clock now, or like 10 a.m. now.
Yeah.
Maybe if I agree to work every Saturday, I might be able to come late to work on Mondays. Cause yeah, like it's still quite a bit of time to go into work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because it's like you're like I know you're like technically 19 hours ahead. I just see it as 5 hours behind. Just on a different day.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. So like I had to take today off, like by agreeing to do Saturday where I'm not rostered on. So like I don't know, maybe if I was to do every Saturday, I might be able to come in later on Mondays.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
But yeah, I'll see how we go.
I'm actually kind of surprised Zasu isn't here because he said he wanted to come watch because I was telling him about it and he said he wanted to come play, but guess he was
What are
you doing?
I'm gonna send Maellon a nice picture.
Alright. Well, I gotta go to sleep, so.
Oh yeah.
I'll see you guys later.
See ya. See ya. It's nice meeting you.